The spotlight of the arena pierced the night sky like a sharp sword, tens of thousands of people in the audience surged like a tide, and the cheers shook the air. On the giant holographic screen, Mo Fan's old-style mecha, Iron Wolf, knelt crookedly on the ground. A large black hole was blasted out of the breastplate by the opponent's particle cannon. Sparks flew everywhere, accompanied by the pungent smell of burning circuits. The engine roared like a slaughtered beast. Ha ha ha. Mo Fan, you loser again. 5 games in a row, you are the laughing stock of the arena. The host's voice burst out from the broadcast, and the whole place erupted into a wave of ridicule. In the VIP area, a group of well-dressed sponsors shook their heads and sighed. One of them, a fat man, slapped his thigh and said in a sharp voice, "I told you before, this guy is a has-been genius. His mecha is about to fall apart, and he still wants to stand up. Go home and sell scrap metal." Mo Fan climbed out of the cockpit, his face covered with engine oil and sweat, his legs softened and he almost fell to his knees. The audience's boos poured down like a torrential rain. Someone threw a can and it hit his feet with a crisp, pop sound. His bank account was already in the red, his rent was 3 months behind, and he couldn't even afford parts to repair his mecha. The former genius was now the butt of a joke, and that humiliation wrenched his heart like a knife. He gritted his teeth and dragged his exhausted body away from the field, with endless ridicule behind him. The night was deep and the neon lights of the interstellar city were flashing high in the sky. Mo Fan drove a dilapidated hover car alone to the abandoned ruins area on the outskirts. This is an Alliance forbidden area, rumored to be the tomb of the ancient Mecha civilization. Thick radiation fog fills the air, and the air is filled with the sour smell of metal corrosion. He had no money to hire an engineer, so he could only take a gamble. He heard that there were wreckage deep in the ruins and that rare data could be scanned. Otherwise, he'll be living on the streets for the next month. The hover car jolted to a stop on the edge of the cliff. Mo Fan put on a radiation mask, carried the scanner on his back, and climbed into the crevice. The sound of footsteps echoed in the dark tunnel, and the heartbeat was like a war drum. Suddenly, a low humming sound came from the depths, and his heart suddenly shrank. Pushing open a slanted metal door, the sight suddenly opened up. A half-buried ancient mecha wreckage stood, with its surface covered with strange lines and faintly glowing with blue light. The mecha is 10 meters high, its armor is as thick as a prehistoric beast, and the smell of old engine oil still lingers in the engine compartment. Is this the legendary Shadow series? Mo Fan murmured, his hands trembling as he started the scanner. The instrument beeped, green light swept across the wreckage, and data poured into his brain-computer interface like a flood. The audience's ridicule was still echoing in his ears, and he gritted his teeth. "I don't believe in evil. If I don't get anything this time, I will be really doomed." The scan is completed, and a blueprint pops up in the interface, invisible coating technology. A nanopaint that distorts light, making it invisible for 10 seconds and even evading radar. The energy consumption is extremely low and it is perfectly integrated into modern mechas. Ha ha ha. God help me. Mo Fan laughed and hit the wreckage with his fist, making a muffled sound. In the abyss of despair, this is the only light. He hurriedly downloaded the blueprint, turned around and ran, but did not notice a strange red light flashing in the wreckage's eyes. Back in his dilapidated garage, the lights are dim and the air is filled with the stench of engine oil and sweat. The Iron Wolf mecha squatted there like a disabled veteran, with its surface covered in craters. Mo Fan rolled up his sleeves and synthesized the coating according to the blueprint, a silver-gray viscous liquid that made a sizzling, corrosive sound when applied, and quickly penetrated into the armor, with a faint smell of ozone floating in the air. "Come on, baby, let me see what you're capable of." Mo Fan jumped into the cockpit and put on his mask. The human-machine interface lit up, and Iron Wolf's engine roared to life, making the ground tremble. The heavy mechanical arm was raised, and the joints made a crunching, friction sound. He took a deep breath and activated the coating. Stealth mode, turn on. In an instant, the surface of the mecha rippled like water waves, the light was distorted, and the entire Iron Wolf disappeared into the air. Mo Fan widened his eyes and looked out of the cockpit window. The surrounding garage seemed empty. He shouted excitedly, "Success! This thing is simply a magical skill." He controlled the mecha to move forward. His footsteps were silent, but he felt that man and machine were one, and the mecha was like an extended limb, extremely smooth. Compared to the clumsy controls of the past, this feels like jumping from a quagmire into the clouds. He couldn't help but test the attack, charging up the particle cannon, and with a low roar of buzz dash, a cannon hit the wall. In the invisible state, the muzzle disappeared, and a large hole suddenly exploded in the wall, with debris flying and smoke filling the air. Mo Fan laughed, "Those bastards in the arena, just wait and see. I'm going to make a stealth surprise attack and catch you off guard." But the joy didn't last long. The energy bar dropped sharply, and the alarms sounded harshly, "Warning. The coating is overloaded, and the energy consumption exceeds the standard by 300%. The Iron Wolf trembled violently, the invisibility effect flickered, and the engine whined like a beast struggling. Mo Fan hurriedly switched, "Damn it, the blueprint didn't mention energy compatibility issues." The surface coating of the mecha cracked, and silver-gray liquid flowed like blood, giving off a burnt smell. Suddenly, there was a loud boom, the energy core exploded, flames shot into the sky, and half of the garage wall collapsed. Mo Fan was thrown out of the cockpit and rolled to the ground. His ears were ringing and his mouth was filled with the smell of blood. Iron Wolf was half kneeling, breathing black smoke. Most of the invisible coating had failed, leaving only mottled fragments. He got up and cursed, "Damn, I almost finished the game." Desperation surged again. This technique is not perfect, how can we counterattack? At this moment, the roar of engines came from the sky, Alliance patrol. 3 armed aircraft circled down, and searchlights swept through the garage like falcon eyes. The loudspeaker blasted, "Illegal scanning of ruins. Mo Fan, surrender immediately. Your mecha has been locked." The patrol leader jumped out from the lead aircraft, and his boots made holes when he landed. He scanned the wreckage and narrowed his eyes. "Boy, what did you scan?" "There is a bounty on the black market for ancient technology." "Hand it over." The 2 soldiers behind him raised their pulse guns, the muzzle of the gun flashed with blue light, and the surrounding air buzzed. Mo Fan's heart sank to the bottom of his heart. Iron Wolf was already useless. What should he do with his bare hands? The patrol approached, and the captain smiled ferociously, "You lose 5 games in a row, and you still want to do something small. Alliance regulations, those who scan the ruins, the mecha will be confiscated, and the person will be imprisoned." The soldiers burst into laughter, and one person taunted, "Look at his mecha, what the hell is painted on it? Invisible? Haha, that's hilarious." The whole city could hear the explosion just now. Mo Fan clenched his fists, and the blueprint flashed in his mind, regretting not testing it in a low-key manner. The patrol leader raised his gun and aimed, "Do it." Just when the laser was about to be fired, a slender figure flashed out of the shadows. The mysterious woman Bai Ning, with long hair flying, holds a data tablet in her hand. She landed lightly and her voice was clear and firm, "Stop. I have an improved version of this coding formula." The patrol leader turned his head sharply and widened his eyes. Are you Bai Ning? A genius engineer? How could she help this loser?" Bai Ning glanced at Mo Fan, and a strange light flashed in her eyes, because this technology can change the arena. She tapped the tablet with her finger, silver light flashed, and a bottle of perfect coating liquid was thrown at Mo Fan. The air solidified, and the patrol soldiers retreated tremblingly. "Captain, is this a black market contraband?" Mo Fan caught the bottle, his heart beating like thunder. "Where did this woman come from? Why did she help me? The storm in the arena is about to set off." The patrol leader's pulse gun was still hanging in the air, the blue energy beam buzzing at the muzzle, and the air was filled with the pungent smell of ozone. His eyes were fixed on the data tablet in Bai Ning's hand, and the grin on his fat face instantly froze and turned into an imperceptible tremor. Bai Ning. Aren't you a freelance engineer of the Alliance? This coding, how do you have it? This is an S-class prohibited item, with a black market price of hundreds of millions of star coins. The muzzles of the soldiers' guns drooped slightly, and someone muttered in a low voice, "Captain, her dad is a high-ranking member of the Alliance, we can't afford to offend him." Another young soldier's legs were weak, cold sweat dripped from his forehead, and his boots made a fine rustling sound on the gravel. His eyes were full of panic. Her eyes are so cold, as if she wants to eat people. Bai Ning's long hair fluttered lightly in the night wind, a cold arc formed at the corner of her mouth, and her voice was like ice sliding across the metal. Contraband? This is my laboratory's private formula. Your patrol team dares to touch the partners who are registered engineers of the Alliance. Believe it or not that you will all be transferred to the border mines to mine radiation mines tomorrow. She tapped her finger on the tablet, and the Alliance certification badge popped up on the screen, and golden light flashed, illuminating her delicate face. The captain's throat rolled, he swallowed, and slowly lowered the muzzle of the gun. "This is a misunderstanding, Miss Bai. Let's go." He waved for the soldiers to retreat, and the aircraft engine roared to life. A heat wave hit his face, stirring up dust and the smell of burnt oil on the ground. 3 aircraft soared into the night sky, their tail flames leaving long red marks, leaving a dead silence. Mo Fan was still holding the bottle of silver-gray liquid, his palms were hot and his heart was beating wildly. He stared at Bai Ning, his voice hoarse. Who are you? Why are you helping me?" Iron Wolf's broken body was panting next to him, black smoke curled up, and the circuit in the big hole in the chest armor was still sizzling sparks. Bai Ning turned around, and the moonlight shone on her shoulders, reflecting her curvy figure. She came closer, so close that Mo Fan could smell the faint scent of lavender on her body, mixed with the rusty smell of engine oil. "I am Bai Ning, an engineer who specializes in nanocoatings. I detected your scan data on the black market, the ancient Shadow series, perfect invisibility technology. I need a partner to test it, and you are the only one alive who can scan it." Her eyes softened for a moment, scanning Mo Fan's oil-stained face, and an imperceptible blush appeared on her cheeks, which she quickly covered up. Mo Fan was stunned, and the blue light of the ruins flashed in his mind. Cooperation. My Iron Wolf is almost useless. The energy core has exploded and the coating has cracked. Even Xiao Sai can't name him. Bai Ning smiled, and a strange light flashed in her eyes. "Follow me. I have a secret workshop with all the parts. Your blueprint, plus my formula, can make it reborn, become a shadow blade. She stretched out her hand and touched his arm with her slender fingers. The touch was like an electric current, and Mo Fan's heart trembled. The hover car speeds through the night, passing through the neon-lit interstellar city, and arrives at an underground workshop hidden under an abandoned factory in the suburbs. The elevator door slid open with a bang, and the lights were bright, reflecting the vast space. The walls were densely covered with tool arms, and the air was filled with the aroma of fresh lubricating oil and welding sparks. There was a transport trailer parked in the center. Iron Wolf's broken body had been lifted up by Bai Ning's automatic robotic arm. The surface was pitted and ferocious, like an injured giant wolf. "Dismantle it first." Bai Ning put on engineering gloves and moved as skillfully as a dancer. The mechanical arm creaked and tore open the Iron Wolf's breastplate, revealing the charred energy core. Heat waves hit his face, accompanied by the pungent smell of melted circuits. Mo Fan followed and rolled up his sleeves to help, sweat sliding down his forehead. "This core has been overloaded 3 times. Replace it with a new one. Don't change, optimize." Bai Ning's voice came out from under the mask, focused and firm. She injected the modified coating liquid, and the silver-gray substance crawled over the surface of the core like a living thing, seeping in, sizzlingly, and making a low hum. On the data tablet, the energy curve rose smoothly. Mo Fan's eyes widened, from 300% consumption to 120%. Can the invisibility last for 20 seconds? Bai Ning nodded, took off his mask, his long hair was scattered, and his forehead was slightly sweaty. She handed over a strengthened alloy plate, the shell is integrated with coating, the particle blade is nano-etched, and the propeller is turbocharged. The rate of human-machine integration will reach 95%. Her fingers inadvertently touched the back of Mo Fan's hand and stayed there for half a second, her eyes dodging. The ancient formula has a secret. It is not only invisible, but it can also absorb light and heat and convert energy. But it is not stable and will peel off at high temperatures. I will perfect it for you, because you are worthy of turning over. Mo Fan's heart felt hot as he looked at her side face with her head lowered while welding. Her cheek lines were soft and her eyelashes were trembling under the light. Without thinking much, he grabbed the blueprint of the particle knife and said, I will strengthen the blade. The genius of the past was not called for nothing. Sparks flew everywhere, and the sound of shishi cutting continued. The two worked side by side, sweat was steaming, and the workshop was as hot as a steamer. A few hours later, Shadow Blade was reborn. The mecha stands tall, its 10-meter-tall body is even thicker, its armor lines are as smooth as a shadow, its surface has faint ripples, and its engine compartment is roaring and ready to go. Mo Fan jumped into the cockpit and put on his mask. The human-machine interface flowed into his nerves like living water, and the sense of limb extension exploded instantly. In the past, Iron Wolf was as clumsy as wearing handcuffs, but now it is as smooth as breathing. The test drive begins. Bai Ning stood in front of the console, his voice trembling slightly, his hands clenching the edges of the tablet, his knuckles turning white. The floor of the workshop cracked open, and a simulated arena rose up, a holographic sandstorm raged, virtual turrets stood in clusters, radar sweeps flashed with red light, and the air was filled with the dry smell of simulated smoke and dust. The Shadow Blade engine exploded with a boom, causing the ground to tremble. The thruster spurted blue flames and rushed out like a giant beast. Stealth mode. Mo Fan roared, the coating activated, water rippled across the surface, the Shadow Blade evaporated instantly, leaving only a slight heat wave distortion in the air. The turret radar, DD, scanned, but it was ineffective. Bai Ning's eyes widened and her breathing quickened. Success, the radar blind spot is perfect. But the energy. The Shadow Blade slid silently, and when the man and machine came together, Mo Fan felt that the mecha was as flexible as an arm. He locked on the virtual turret, and the particle blade buzzed to charge up. It sprang out invisibly, and the blade flashed like a ghost. Crack! He cut off the turret base with one knife. The explosion exploded into the sky, debris fell like rain, and a heat wave hit his face. Bai Ning gasped, her voice trembling, "Oh my God, your control, the prediction evasion rate is 99%. Those artillery fire should have locked you up." Mo Fan laughed, the Shadow Blade jumped up, the thrusters roared, and he rolled over while invisible. The virtual particle beam passed by him, burning the air and giving off a burning smell. He attacked another tower with his backhand, and the blade rotated and cut. The tower collapsed and the tower was filled with smoke and dust. Bai Ning stood up, covered her mouth with her hands, and said with bright eyes, "Mo Fan, you are a genius. No one in the arena can stop this invisible attack." The high-intensity training continued, the Shadow Blade shuttled through the sandstorm, and cut down 5 towers in a row within 20 seconds of being invisible. The engine roared like a heartbeat, and the thrusters billowed with heat. Mo Fan was sweating like rain, and his neural interface was on fire, but the integration of man and machine made him feel like a fish in water, and every step he took was in the blind spot of gunfire. Finally, the perfect round ended. The Shadow Blade landed, the invisibility was released, the surface coating shimmered, tiny cracks appeared, and silver shavings peeled off under the high temperature, falling like snow. The alarm sounded, insufficient stability, 15% coating degradation. The engine wheezed, black smoke emitted slightly, and the energy core clicked overheated. Mo Fan jumped out of the cabin, panting heavily and smelling of sweat. Damn it, it's unstable under high load. 20 seconds of invisibility is enough, but Lin Chan will collapse. Bai Ning rushed forward, inspected the coating, touched the cracks with her fingers, her brows furrowed, her eyes full of worry and admiration. Your tactics just now were too shocking. Even those powerful enemies like Luo Li, top-level mechas will be killed by your invisible sword. But I will adjust the stability. No, I can't do it alone. She bit her lip, looked at Mo Fan, and said in a soft voice, sign up for the small competition, the deadline is tomorrow. This is your breakthrough. Mo Fan nodded, hit the Shadow Blade's leg armor with his fist, and made a muffled "kong" sound, retribution. The laughing stock of 5 consecutive defeats, use invisibility to shut them up. The lights in the workshop flickered, and the registration terminal beeped to confirm that the small competition will start tomorrow. On the holographic screen, the arena preview flashed, a list of opponents for the small competition, with powerful enemies hidden. Mo Fan's heart was racing, but he heard a dong-dong knocking outside the door, as dull as a hammer. Bai Ning was alert. Who? A rough male voice came from outside the door, accompanied by metal friction. I am Li Xiu, Mecha Modification Master. I have detected your energy fluctuations, the coating stability problem. I can solve it. Open the door, otherwise, I will swallow the black market bounty for myself. A strange blue light shone through the crack of the door. Mo Fan and Bai Ning looked at each other, their hearts sinking. Where did this guy come from? The storm in Shaosai is unprecedented. The door was banged open with a bang, iron filings flying, and the pungent smell of welding mixed with the smell of damp earth outside hit our face. Li Xiu barged in, blocking the door with his tall body and carrying a heavy toolbox on his shoulders, which scraped against the ground. He narrowed his eyes like a wolf and stared at the cracked coating of the Shadow Blade. A strange blue light shone from the data ring in his palm, reflecting the ferocious look on his bearded face. The coating peeled off by 15% and was degraded by high temperatures. Ha, this is the ancient shadow technology with a bounty on the black market? Bai Ning, you hit it deep enough, but it's a pity that I, Li Xiu, only deal with unstable things. Li Xiu laughed, his throat felt like sandpaper rubbing against metal, and he roughly threw the toolbox down, hitting the ground with a clang, stirring up dust. He strode forward and poked the Shadow Blade's leg armor with his thick fingers. The blue light scanner buzzed and the data surged. Single fight. Boy, your human-machine integration is only 95%, and it peels off after 20 seconds of invisibility. I can tell at a glance, the nanochain is not long enough, and the heat absorption backfires on the core. The black market gave me 50 million star coins to get the technology. You 2 rookies and a disabled mecha will be a joke tomorrow. He turned to Bai Ning with greedy eyes. Little girl, what if my father is a high-ranking member of the alliance? Hand it over and we'll share it equally. Bai Ning took half a step back, her fingers clenched on the tablet, her knuckles turned white, and her voice was sharp. Get out. This is a private workshop, how dare you touch the black market bounty? The alliance patrol has just left. Do you want to follow in their footsteps? Mo Fan stood in front of her, clenching his fists, and the smell of sweat had not dissipated, and he was angry. I have lost 5 games in a row on this useless mecha. You want to step on me? Do you want to try a one-on-one fight? Bai Ning turned pale, biting her lip until it bled, and despair flashed in her eyes. Jiang Chen, how did he know? Mo Fan's heart sank to the bottom of his heart, and the humiliation of losing streak flashed through his mind. The audience laughed at the waste genius, the creditors pursued him, and the Iron Wolf was scrapped. As soon as Li Xiu came, he crushed his last hope. The air was stagnant, the residual heat of the engine was still wheezing, and the lights in the workshop flickered on and off, like a mocking look. Suddenly, Mo Fan's eyes flashed, he grabbed the particle knife blueprint and slammed Li Xiu's chest, bang. There was a dull sound. Li Xiu staggered back, his eyes widened, "You're looking for death." But Mo Fan had already jumped onto the Shadow Blade cockpit, the hatch slid open with a hiss, and the interface rushed into his nerves like an electric current. "Try my invisibility." The coating barely activated, ripples flashed past, the Shadow Blade half hidden and half revealed, the particle blade buzzed and charged, pointing directly at Li Xiu's throat. Li Xiu's legs gave way, and the toolbox fell to the ground. The color on his face faded, and his voice trembled. "Stop, stop. This control, prediction is like a ghost. Are you Mo Fan? The loser? Impossible." Bai Ning was stunned, and then his eyes lit up, and he covered his mouth and whispered, "Mo Fan, you scared him to death." The combination of man and machine, even the half-peeled coating suppressed the entire audience. Li Xiu gasped and knelt down and raised his hands. "Don't kill. I'll join. The coating is stable, I have a black market exclusive cooling gel that can chain nanometers, and I have upgraded dual modes, optical distortion and radar deception, invisible for 40 seconds without peeling off. Jiang Chen sent me to monitor, but I don't want to be a dog." He got up, with a mixture of fear and fanaticism in his eyes, and threw out the blue light reagent bottle. "Look, actual measured data, the thermal conversion rate has increased by 200%. Mo Fan jumped down from the cabin, put away the blade, and hit the ground with a dong sound. Bai Ning stepped forward to check the reagent, and the data tablet, Didi, verified it. Her eyes widened. "Oh my god, the stability is 100%. Dual mode?" She turned to look at Mo Fan, her cheeks red as fire. "He is right, the three of us work together, the Shadow Blade is invincible." The three of them worked hard all night long. Li Xiu waved the mechanical arm with his thick arms, dismantling the engine with a crunch, injecting white gel into the gel, and the silver-gray coating covered it like a living snake, emitting a low hum, and the smell of hot and cold filled the workshop. Mo Fan strengthened the blade, sparks exploded and sweat mixed with oil dripped. Dual mode, visual invisibility deceives the enemy's eyes, radar invisibility deceives scanning. Li Xiu roared, his voice trembling with excitement. Dawn breaks, and the Shadow Blade is reborn. The body is thicker, the armor ripples like water, the engine roars and the blue flames are emitted steadily without smoke. When Mo Fan entered the cabin, the human-machine integration was at 99%, and his limbs were like shadows. Perfect. Bai Ning's hands trembled and she hugged Li Xiu's shoulders. "You bastard, you saved us." Li Xiu giggled and wiped his sweat. "The boy is driving a monster, he is invisible like a ghost, I accept it." At the opening of the minigame, the suspended stands above the arena were filled with people and neon lights, and the air was filled with the sweet smell of popcorn mixed with the smell of burnt engine oil. Hundreds of thousands of spectators screamed, and the giant screen broadcast live, a melee in the small competition, 3 intermediate opponents, Iron Bear, Thunder Eagle, Steel Python, thick mecha armor and cannon fire, the most popular king. Li Xiu clenched his fists in the background, their energy core is top-notch and their shields are 3 layers. You suppress it first and then increase it. Bai Ning bit her lip, "Be careful, the audience calls you a loser." Mo Fan entered the scene with the Shadow Blade, and landed with a boom. The ground cracked, and the engine roared loudly. The audience was in an uproar. Mo Fan? That waste? The Iron Wolf is scrapped and is here to die. There was a wave of ridicule. Invisibility trick? Xiao Sai's laughing stock. The Iron Bear pilot laughed ferociously, and the loudspeaker roared, "Boy, kneel down and lick your thigh armor, I will spare your life." The Thunder Eagle dived, the particle cannon buzzed to charge, the Steel Python wrapped around the flanks, and the radar was locked with red light. War breaks out. The Iron Bear's giant fist struck, bang. The Shadow Blade flashed sideways, the wind of the fist tore through the air, and a wave of heat hit his face. Thunder Eagle artillery fire poured down, and the blue beams, shishi, burned the ground. The audience cheered, crush. The trash has a low dodge rate. Mo Fan's heart sank, the shadow blade shield shattered, ZZ, and the energy dropped by 30%. The disadvantage was overwhelming. Bai Ning squeezed the railing in the stands and dug her nails into it. Mo Fan, hold on. Li Xiu growled, invisible. Now. Invisibility, dual mode. Mo Fan shouted, the coating ripples exploded, the optical distortion was like heat wave air, and the shadow blade evaporated before everyone's eyes. The radar, DD, scanned randomly, and the Iron Bear pilot stared, where are the people? The radar is blind. The audience was silent, and then exploded, hallucination. The mecha flew. The steel python scan failed, and the pilot panicked, impossible. Invisible forbidden skills. The shadow blade sneaked silently, man and machine merged like a ghost. Mo Fan felt the wind passing through his fingers. Locking the back of the Iron Bear's neck, the particle knife buzzed and rotated, the nano edge flashed with cold light, and the first kill within 40 seconds of invisibility, cut. The blade tore through the shield, crack. The 3 layers shattered like paper, the Iron Bear's head exploded, fire shot into the sky, fragments fell like rain, and the smell of burnt metal filled the air. The Iron Bear pilot screamed and died, the mecha fell to the ground, and the earthquake platform boomed. The audience gasped, and someone stood up and screamed, instant kill. The shield is top-notch, he is invisible and goes behind. The Thunderhawk pilot's hands trembled, and the muzzle swept wildly, monster. Perfect score for radar deception. The shadow blade had slid to the side, and the thruster erupted silently. The second kill, the blade was lifted up, high. The Thunderhawk's wings were broken, he spiraled down, and an explosive mushroom cloud rose, and a heat wave swept the audience. Bai Ning covered her mouth, tears welling up in her eyes, too strong. 99% prediction, perfect combo. The steel python finally entangled itself, and the Fong laser hissed, but the shadow blade jumped up invisibly, and the low roar of the engine was heard only by Mo Fan. The integration of man and machine is the ultimate. Mo Fan feels like the mecha is breathing. The third kill, dive and stab, crack. The particle knife cuts in a whirlwind, the steel python shield explodes, the body is torn into pieces, the internal circuit sizzles and spits out fire, and black smoke rises into the sky. The driver shouted before his death, invisible, ghost. There was dead silence for 3 seconds, and then an explosion broke out, 3 kills. 20 seconds of consecutive kills. Invisible magic, double deception with optical radar. The audience stamped their feet wildly, the stands trembled, and some people fainted, reversal of waste. Beat him for the first time. The referee's holographic announcement, Mo Fan, Shadow Blade, the winner of the small competition. The bonus of 50,000 star coins has been received. Bai Ning rushed off the stage and threw herself into his arms. The scent of lavender filled her nostrils. You did it, genius. Li Xiu laughed and patted him on the shoulder. Boy, you are invincible in dual modes, and we will swallow up the black market bounty. The bonus terminal was transferred. The deficit was cleared, and the rent and spare parts were worry-free. The cheers in the arena were like the aftermath of a tsunami, making the air buzz. Mo Fan's chest heaved, sweat dripped down his chin, and hit the Shadow Blade's armor with a thin, tap-tap sound. The rain of gold coins was still floating in the air, and the twinkling star coins reflected the distorted faces of the audience. Someone raised his arms and yelled, "The Invisible King!" The reversal of waste. Bai Ning clung to his side, the scent of lavender mixed with the smell of gunpowder smoke hit her nostrils. Her fingers trembled slightly, grabbing his shirt. At the edge of his robe, his eyes were moist. Mo Fan, we won, we really won. Li Xiu rushed out from the backstage, his beard stained with oil, and his laughter was like an engine blasting. Boy, 50,000 star coins. Buy all the parts and gel, and go stare at those bullies in the black market. Before the celebration was over, the holographic letter popped up, and Luo Li's shadow flashed on the big screen of the arena. In the Queen's cockpit, the cold face looked down, and the engine of the top mecha, Shuanghua, roared. Mo Fan, it's just a small contest of invisible deception. There are many strong enemies in the preliminaries, and I, Luo Li, swear to crush your ghost trick. Do you dare to come? The audience gasped. Luo Li challenges. A bloody battle in the preliminaries. Mo Fan's eyes ignited and he clenched his fists. Come. The storm is coming. The lights in the private workshop were dazzling, and the iron door slammed shut, blocking out the hustle and bustle outside. Li Xiu was the first to unload the goods. The heavy cargo box banged on the ground, raising dust and choking his nose. He tore open the package, and the blue light module pulsated like a living thing. Adaptive coating. Automatically releases the cooling network at high temperatures. The invisibility delay is extended to 60 seconds. The thermal conversion rate soared to 300%. Bai Ning took the tablet and entered data with her fingertips. The fragrance of grass permeated the sultry air. I have optimized the AI assistance, and the predicted hostile rate is 99.5%. Even the trajectory of Luo Li's Ice Phoenix is locked. Mo Fan jumped onto the Shadow Blade cockpit, and the neural interface hissed into his skin, and cold current flowed through his limbs. The neural connection is upgraded, and the human-machine integration is always at 100%. Working wildly all night long, the mechanical arm rotated, crunching, sparks exploded, shishi, and the heat wave of the welding gun burned everyone's faces red. Li Xiu pinched the nanotube with his thick fingers and injected it into the module. A low, buzzing sound resounded throughout the workshop. The silver-gray coating covered the whole body of the shadow blade like liquid metal, and the surface rippled slightly. Bai Ning bit her lip to install the AI chip, and the data stream flashed wildly. Beads of sweat rolled down her forehead. The prediction module is in place. The enemy's maneuvering intention is displayed 0.3 seconds in advance. Mo Fan roared in the cabin. The nerve fibers were like needles piercing the brain, and the pain was like an electric whip. He hit the bulkhead with his fist and made a dull sound. It hurts to death, but it's worth it. During the test run at dawn, the Shadow Blade engine roared, blue flames erupted steadily, and vibrations spread throughout the workshop, making the iron frame rattle. Mo Fan entered the cabin, and the man-machine united instantly soared. His limbs extended like shadow blades, his fingertips moved slightly, and the mecha responded immediately, smoothly and seamlessly. Li Xiu's eyes widened and his throat rolled. Monster, this control puts even my top black market engineer to shame. Bai Ning covered her mouth with her hands, her pupils dilated. 100% unity. The nerve pain turned into a prejudgment instinct. It's so scary. The shadow blade was tested for invisibility, ripples flashed, the whole machine evaporated, no peeling occurred within 60 seconds, and the radar scan was completely blinded. The three of them squeezed out of the crowd, their footsteps clicking as they stepped on the scattered metal debris. The night wind outside the arena carried the salty smell of the harbor, and the suspended taxi slid towards them with a buzz. Li Xiu threw out the terminal, scanned the QR code to pay, and transferred most of the 50,000 star coins, DD. The order was immediately confirmed: adaptive nanomodules, AI prediction chips, and nerve-enhancing fibers, delivered directly from the underground warehouse of the black market. Go home and work, he shouted, and with a wave of his thick arm, the taxi engine roared, carrying the three of them through the neon city, and the traffic underneath flickered like a river of insects. In the first round, Mo Fan sprinted, the shadow blade thruster boomed and sprayed blue flames. The integration of man and machine was the ultimate. The prejudged AI flashed the Ice Phoenix trajectory, left flash. But the Ice Phoenix wing blade swept across, the energy shield bounced off the particle knife, Tsang made a metallic sound, frost mist eroded the coating, and the invisibility only lasted for 10 seconds before peeling off and sizzling smoke. The giant claws of the simulated ice phoenix grabbed it, bang. The shadow blade shield shattered by 30%, Mo Fan's cabin rolled, and the smell of sweat filled the air. Damn it, the energy shield backlash is too strong. Li Xiu's face turned livid, he beat his chest and shouted, it's useless. Luo Li Wang, the ice phoenix shield is adaptive, the rebound rate is 200%, and the invisible heat accumulation is overloaded. Bai Ning retreated, his knuckles turned white. The prediction is accurate, but the reaction is 0.1 seconds slow. We will lose, the preliminaries are a joke. Training begins. Simulate Luo Li Ice Phoenix. Li Xiu roared, activating the holographic simulation cabin. A giant ice phoenix mecha was projected in the center of the workshop. The crystal blue armor refracted the cold light, the energy shield buzzed and pulsated. The 3 layers were superimposed like an ice wall. The engine sprayed frost mist, and the air was suddenly freezing. Luo Li's cold face appeared during the audience video playback, invisible. Ice Phoenix magnetic freezing field, freezing nano chains at -50 degrees. Bai Ning clenched his fists, anti-energy shield tactics, first break the outer shield, then go invisible and stab the core. After losing 3 rounds in a row, the shadow blade simulated wreckage flickered and lost 80% of its energy. Mo Fan jumped out of the cabin and hit the crack with his fist. His chest felt tight and painful, can't even suppress the simulation. The audience wants to scold the useless genius again. Li Xiu panted and squatted on the ground, his eyes bloodshot. Boy, the weakness of the coating is exposed, a strong magnetic field. Ice Phoenix has a built-in magnetic freeze generator, which interferes with the vibration of the nanochain and accelerates the invisible collapse. Black market information, Luo Li specializes in defeating the invisible flow. Bai Ning's face turned pale, biting his lip and bleeding. Jiang Chen, are we finished with the black market? The air was stagnant, the lights in the workshop flickered, and the engine's residual heat wheezed like a mocking whisper. Mo Fan's eyes sunk to the bottom of his heart, his mind flashed to the humiliation of consecutive defeats. Creditors were pursuing him, and the audience was laughing at him. But suddenly, he grabbed the scanner, and the blue light penetrated into the core of the shadow blade. Ancient wreckage data, there is a backup frequency band. Li Xiu was stunned, climbed up and came closer. The data was rushing, his eyes widened, and his voice trembled. Genius. Magnetic shielding subchannel, nanochain can switch anti-magnetic mode. Bai Ning rushed forward, verified with "DD" on the tablet, covered his mouth and whispered, replacement plan. Li Xiu, change it quickly. Li Xiu laughed wildly, his throat was like sandpaper grinding iron, and he threw out the black market's exclusive magnetic coagulant. I'm planning 3 levels of coating: optical, radar, magnetic screen. High temperature adaptive plus magnetic vibration isolation. Ice Phoenix freezes ineffective. He waved his thick arm, and the mechanical arm crunched to dismantle, injected new agent, and a faint network pattern appeared on the surface of the coating, like the pulsation of living scales. Sparks exploded, and the smell of burnt welding torch filled his nose. Bai Ning optimized AI fusion magnetic prediction, and Mo Fan reconnected his nerves. The pain was like fire, but he gritted his teeth and held it back. Come. Simulate again. In the second stage of training, the shadow blade's rebirth is thicker, the engine roars, and the blue flames and magnetic arcs flash. Mo Fan entered the cabin. The man and the machine were as one as breathing, and his heartbeat synchronized with the pulse of the mecha. The Ice Phoenix projection reappears, frost and mist fill the workshop, and the air conditioner freezes your skin. Li Xiu clenched his fist, upgrade the anti-shield tactics. First, lure the enemy invisibly, lock the magnetic screen, and use the particle knife to break the layer with nano-frequency vibration. Bai Ning was monitoring from the side, and his voice was urgent. The weak point of the energy shield is frequency resonance. The shadow blade circled back silently, and the integration of man and machine was as smooth as the wind passing through the fingers. Mo Fan felt the heat source of the Ice Phoenix like a lighthouse, and the AI flashed, frequency vibration point on the back of the neck. The particle knife whirled, and the nano edge oscillated at high frequency. The first blow cut the shield. The blade penetrated the outer layer with a crack, and the energy shield shattered like an ice explosion, and frost shards flew and stung the skin. The second layer of backfire heat wave hit the face, but the adaptive module released the cold network, neutralizing the hissing, and the invisibility remained stable for 50 seconds. The ice phoenix spun around, grabbing the air with its huge claws and hitting the ground with a bang. The projection pilot panicked. Where are the people? The radar is blind and the magnetic field is useless. Monster. Mo Fan predicted the AI guidance. The shadow blade microjet advanced silently, jumped up from the side, and struck the third blow, whirlwind cutting. The particle knife was like a tornado. Crack. Crack. The inner shield exploded, the core was exposed, and the blue flames pierced. Boom. The ice phoenix projection exploded, and the mushroom cloud of frost and fire rushed to the top. The workshop shook with a quack, and the hot and cold smell mixed in the lungs. Li Xiu knelt down and laughed, tears mixed with sweat. Third-level invisibility, kill the ice phoenix instantly. Boy, you are a god. Bai Ning rushed to the simulation platform, the data jumped wildly, she turned around and hugged Mo Fan's jumping figure, her cheeks were red as fire. Too strong, man and machine are integrated, even the weakness becomes a killer move. Luo Li is finished. The training carnival is not over yet, the holographic large screen, tick, bullets are drawing lots for the preliminaries, the logo of the competitive league is shining, and the expanded world view is instantly unfolded, the top 50 in the preliminaries are fighting, suspended above the competitive island, the league's top executives are gathered, the shadow of the black market is lurking, and the champion goes straight to the finals for supreme glory. The host of the holographic projection said coldly, the first battle is announced. Dark Horse Mo Fan vs Queen Luo Li. The whole workshop was dead silent, and then it exploded. Li Xiu jumped up and pointed at the big screen, first battle with Luo Li. Intelligence confirmation, Ice Phoenix upgraded magnetic field generator, handmade by black marketer Jiang Chen, designed to defeat your old coding. Bai Ning's face turned pale and she grabbed Mo Fan's arm, magnetic field, but we have level 3 resistance. Mo Fan's eyes were blazing with fire, his fists were clenched and his sweat was steaming. Come on, Luo Li. Invisible sweep, I will kill you first in the preliminaries. Luo Li's silhouette flashed on the big screen, sneers were heard in the cabin, and a magnetic arc loomed behind the ice phoenix. Mo Fan, the magnetic freezing field is waiting for you, the invisibility trick will be wiped out. The audience warm-up live broadcast has started, and the barrage is blasting, the queen crushes the trash. Dark Horse invisibility vs magnetic shield, bloody battle. The storm escalates, the alliance conspiracy emerges, the black market bounty increases tenfold, the shadow blade roars like a boiling fighting spirit. War begins. The ice phoenix wing blade swept over, the energy shield glowed with blue light, Mo Fan shouted, invisibility level 3. The coding ripples exploded, optical evaporation, radar deception, magnetic screen activated, the shadow blade disappeared like a ghost and the ice phoenix magnetic field buzzed to no avail. The simulated driver yelled at the projection, invisible. Magnetic freeze failure. Li Xiu's legs went weak and he slid against the wall, his eyes bulging, impossible. 100% anti-magnetic, the coding is alive. Bai Ning screamed, holding his head with trembling hands, the prediction is perfect, the trajectory is locked. The floating competition island is like a giant beast floating in the air, the low roar of the engine preheating is shaking through the clouds, and the blue energy network is pulsating and flashing, reflecting the city lights below like a sea of stars. The 3 Mo fans squeezed into the transport cabin, the shadow blade fixed on the magnetic lock clicked, the door sealed with a bang, and the departure countdown made a shrill beep. Li Xiu stared closely at the terminal and pointed with his thick finger, the top 50 melee in the preliminaries, the first round of duel area. Luo Li Ice Phoenix is in place, the black market magnetic field upgrade has been confirmed, the pulse frequency is 500 Hz per second, and it can directly defeat the nano chain. Bai Ning's pale face was close to Mo Fan, the scent of lavender mixed with sweat hit her nostrils, she grabbed his wrist, nails embedded in the flesh, Mo Fan. The third level coating has 100% resistance, but her energy shield is stacked 3 times, and the backfire heat wave can melt the armor. Tactics: use the terrain, stealth attack with the island gravel belt. Mo Fan's eyes were like knives, his fists were clenched, and he growled, "Don't worry, I will predict every inch of her trajectory. Kill the queen first." The transport cabin jetted with a boom and dived into the competition island. The wind howled like a knife cutting into the face. The audience's holographic seats were packed with people. The barrage poured out, Trash Dark Horse vs Ice Phoenix Queen. Invisible joke, magnetically frozen ashes fly away. The host's giant projection roared, first round of preliminaries. Mo Fan Shadow Blade vs Luo Li Ice Phoenix. A life and death battle among 50 strong men, the winner heading straight to the finals. The energy gate opened, the Shadow Blade engine roared, and the blue flames burst into the air with a magnetic arc. Mo Fan jumped into the cabin, and the man-machine united soaring in an instant. The nerve fibers were like vital veins running through the body, and the heartbeat synchronized. Mecha whispered, "Dong dong." He felt that the Shadow Blade was like a second skin, and the thick armor pressed against the gravel on the ground. The suspended platform in the center of the competition island, the ring-shaped gravel belt like a maze, the energy storm whooshes, stirs up sand and dust, the Ice Phoenix has stood, the crystal blue armor reflects the cold light, the blue light of the 3-layer energy shield is superimposed like an iceberg moving, the projection of the cold face in the Luo Li cabin is enlarged, the red lips taunted, Mo Fan. Invisibility trick? Black market intelligence, your coding weak magnetic pulse, a crash. Disintegrate, waste genius. The audience roared, Tsunami cheered Ice Phoenix, and jeered like needles, Queen Crush. Invisible bitch, get out of the arena. Mo Fan's chest was filled with anger, the Shadow Blade particle knife buzzed, and the nano edge was turned on, the thruster sprayed blue flames, and the first charge was invisible. Level 3 Invisibility, start. Mo Fan shouted, ripples in the coating erupted, optical evaporation, radar deception, magnetic screen lock, the Shadow Blade disappeared like a ghost, silently passing through the gravel belt, the engine heat wave was suppressed to a minimum, leaving only a slight tremor in the air. Luo Li's pupils shrank, the Ice Phoenix wing blade swept across, clang, smashed into the air and exploded, bang bang, the magnetic field probe buzzed and scanned randomly, where are the people? The radar is blind. The auditorium was dead silent, and the barrage exploded, is the invisibility really gone? The Queen is panicking. Li Xiu yelled in the background, and the terminal flashed wildly, boy, the coding is stable. The frequency is synchronized. Bai Ning bit her lips, and the data stream reflected her wet eyes, predicted trajectory, Ice Phoenix's left wing blind spot, around the back and stabbing the neck. The Shadow Blade approached silently, 50 meters away, the perfect integration of man and machine. Mo Fan felt that Luo Li's heat source was like a lighthouse, and the AI flashed, pulse energy storage, 0.5 seconds. The particle blade oscillated at high frequency and buzzed, preparing for the first blow, but the Ice Phoenix suddenly turned around, the core magnetic field generator exploded with a boom, the blue pulse wave swept like a tide, and Hertz surged to interfere with the nanochain. The coating of the Shadow Blade sizzles and trembles, the magnetic screen load surges red, and the invisible peeling off is like smoke exploding, and the exposure is instantaneous. Luo Li's cabin laughed wildly and projected, magnetic pulse lock. The black market has been upgraded to defeat your broken coating. The Ice Phoenix's giant claws grabbed it and boomed, the energy shield backfired and the heat wave hit his face, the gravel belt exploded into holes, and the sand and dust filled his nose with the smell of burnt metal. Mo Fan rolled inside the cabin, the Shadow Blade shield shattered by 20%, the alarm beeped piercingly. He punched the console with a bang, and the smell of sweat filled the air. Damn, the pulse is super predicted. Thermal accumulation overload. The audience burst into laughter, waist exposed. Queen kills instantly. Luo Li Ice Phoenix chased, the wing blade swept, Chu La, the particle cannon fired continuously, the trajectory of the blue frost projectile locked the shadow blade, the explosion flames shot into the sky, and the island shook, crack. The shadow blade flashed sideways, and the propeller, Chi, sprayed blue flames, narrowly avoiding the hail of artillery fire, but the armor was scratched and, sparks flew everywhere. Mo Fan predicted that the AI flashed wildly, right gravel belt, stealth restart will take 3 seconds. Li Xiu's face was livid in the background, and he hit the table with his thick arm, frequency misalignment. Remote adjustment, magnetic coagulation agent injection, switch subchannel. Terminal, DD, transmission, Bai Ning shouted tactics, use the terrain. Turn left in the gravel maze, stealth side attack the weak point of the wing root, the 3-layer shield frequency resonance is broken. A fierce chase ensued, the Ice Phoenix engine sprayed out frost and mist, the cold air froze the air, and the particle cannons fired at each other, the shadow blade dodged left and right, man and machine merged like a dance, and the body micromechanics responded immediately, but Luo Li was experienced, and the magnetic pulses buzzed in succession. Each wave of interference coating peeled off and accelerated, and the shadow blade's heat meter soared and smoked. The audience screamed, bloody battle. The dark horse can't hold on, the queen is invincible. Mo Fan gritted his teeth and cut into the gravel belt. The boulders stood like a maze. The engine roared and suppressed the sound. The invisible restart, ripple, flashed. Li Xiu's remote adjustment took effect, frequency lock. Antipulse 120%, Kid Rush. Bai Ning's voice trembled, wing root frequency vibration point, particle knife nanorotation, break the second layer of shield. The shadow blade ghost side attacked and silently bypassed the boulder. Luo Li's Ice Phoenix blind scan smashed the rocks with a bang bang, and the debris rained down on her skin. She roared in the cabin, invisibility is coming again. The magnetic field is fully activated. The second wave of pulse wave erupted, but the third-order coating mesh pulsated, the magnetic screen sizzled, neutralized, and the invisibility remained stable for 40 seconds. Mo Fan felt that man and machine were one. He predicted the turning trajectory of Luo Li's heat source, the particle knife buzzed and exploded, and the first wing root cracked. The outer energy shield crackles like ice, frost shards splash and freeze the skin, and the second layer backfires with heat waves and roasts the red shadow blade, but the cooling network is released with a hiss, neutralizing 300% of the heat conversion, making the invisible invisible. Luo Li's projection was distorted and her voice was sharp, impossible. The shield adaptive failure? Has the coating evolved? The auditorium was boiling, passers-by's eyes widened, and their throats rolled, dark horse side attack. Queen's shield cracked. The barrage went crazy, invisible anti-magnetic. Magic. Li Xiu fell to his knees in the background and laughed with tears and sweat, monster. The frequency is perfect, Luo Li is panicking. Bai Ning covered her mouth with her hands, the pupils dilated as if seeing a miracle, the tactics worked, man and machine are integrated, even the pulse becomes an opportunity. Shadow Blade took advantage of the victory and pursued it, the thruster ejected silently, the third cut of the inner layer, cha-cha-cha, the nano-frequency resonance resonated, the energy shield exploded like glass rain, the core was exposed and the blue light flourished. Ice Phoenix spun around and counterattacked, grabbing the air with its giant claws and hitting the ground with a boom. Luo Li roared and fired a particle cannon at close range with a boom. The Shadow Blade shield was shattered by 50%. Mo Fan's mouth and nose were bleeding in the cabin, and the pain was like an electric whip, but the AI prediction flashed, the back of the neck for 0.2 seconds. The ultimate blow. The Shadow Blade jumped up and cut into a whirlwind. The integration of man and machine was as smooth as breathing. The particle knife tornado pierced the core. Boom! The explosive mushroom cloud shot up into the sky with frost and fire. The ice phoenix projection disintegrated. The energy residue scattered, sizzlingly. The gravel belt of the competition island was covered with scorched earth. The hot and cold smell choked the lungs. Smoke was blowing out from the top of Luo Li's cabin, and her face was pale and the projection flickered, lost, to invisible waste. The black market intelligence was wrong. The host roared, Mo Fan narrowly won. The dark horse advanced to the top 50. The audience turned to the tsunami, invisible king. The queen has fallen. Passers-by screamed, and some people knelt down to worship. Man and machine are integrated into one, magical side attack. Luo Li's 3 shields can be broken in seconds. The countdown to the floating competition island starts, and the rumbling of the engine preheating echoes in the starry sky. Under the spotlight, Mo Fan's team steps onto a higher stage. The secret of the invisible coating will shock the entire interstellar. But before the cheers died down, the energy gate on the edge of the competition island, bang, opened, and 3 black market heavy armored mechas arrived. The armor was dark and engraved with blood claw marks. The engine, bang, compressed the air, and the particle gun, buzzed, and was loaded. The lead driver's projection smiled sinisterly, his face twisted with scars. Mo Fan, the current champion Jiang Chen has invited you. Your invisible coating, the black market bounty is 200,000 star coins, hand over the data obediently, otherwise, the body will be buried on the island. The audience gasped, and the barrage exploded. Jiang Chen's younger brother is surrounding you. The black market is robbing technology. Li Xiu's face suddenly changed, he grabbed the terminal and shouted, intelligence confirmation. Jiang Chen stared at the coated core is intended to be reverse-engineered and integrated with his black market emperor machine. Boy, the crisis is escalating. Bai Ning clenched Mo Fan's hand, his knuckles turned white. The 3 of them are encircling you, and the shadow blade is damaged by 50%. Mo Fan's eyes were as dark as the abyss, his fists cracked, and the shadow blade engine roared again, come on, black market dog. Invisible sweep, Jiang Chen's conspiracy, I will crush it with my own hands. Mo Fan jumped into the cabin, his chest was in severe pain, sweat and blood flowed, shadow blade roared like a breath. Bai Ning and Li Xiu rushed out from the backstage, hugging him instantly. Bai Ning's eyes were filled with tears, and the fragrance of lavender was strong. Mo Fan, you did it. You narrowly beat the queen, our coating is invincible. Li Xiu slapped his shoulder with a thick arm, his eyes were bloodshot, and his voice was hoarse and trembling. Boy, I'm telling you frequently came to the rescue, but your control was monstrous. Luo Li's information was all wrong, and Jiang Chen's face turned green. The 3 of them looked at each other, and their bonds were as strong as iron. Mo Fan whispered, there is still a final, Jiang Chen is waiting. On the central platform of the floating competition island, the aftermath of the energy storm has not dissipated. The pungent smell of frost and fire on the scorched earth is mixed with the scorching smell of molten metal. 3 heavy armored mechas from the black market are approaching with a bang. The dark armor reflects blood-red paw prints like the scales of giant beasts. The particle gun barrels buzz with charged blue light pulsating, and the compressed air sinks like a lead block. The lead pilot's projection scar face twisted and grinned. Mo Fan, Sir Jiang Chen has rewarded you with a bounty of 200,000 star coins, just for your coding data. The shadow blade is damaged by 50%, the shield is shattered, and the heat accumulation red light is flashing. You still want to become invisible? Brothers, open the magnetic lock net and strip him naked. The engines of the 2nd and 3rd mechas roared boom, the ground cracked, crack, and the magnetic field generator, ZZ, unfolded, the blue web with a diameter of 100 meters tightened like spider silk, and the pulse frequency of the specialized nanochains surged at 600 Hz. The audience gasped, and the barrage rained down, the black market encirclement and suppression. The invisible dark horse is finished, Jiang Chen's crush. Passers-by stared and whispered, and some people covered their mouths and backed away. Triple armor, the shadow blade can't hold on. The dark horse in the preliminaries is going to be buried on the island. Mo Fan's chest hurt like a knife, and the smell of blood filled his mouth. The shadow blade alarm beeped piercingly, and the shield remained at 30%. The heat meter soared and white smoke hissed. He punched the console with a bang, and sweat beads rolled down mixed with blood. Damn it, the damage is too heavy, the invisible cooling takes 10 seconds. Bai Ning's face turned pale, and the scent of lavender was covered by the smell of sweat. Her fingers trembled as she grabbed the terminal. Mo Fan, retreat to the gravel belt. Li Xiu, far away. Qing magnetic coagulant is injected into the second stage, delaying the pulse. Li Xiu's thick arms were sweating in the background, and the terminal data stream was flashing red. I try. But the 3-machine firepower network, the particle gun locking rate is 99%, hold on. The shadow blade thruster sneaked and tried to retreat, but the leader's heavy armor claw, bang, hit him. The platform's gravel sprayed like shrapnel and scratched his face. The magnetic net tightened, and the coating peeled off by 10%, revealing the invisible failure. The particle gun fired a salvo, boom boom boom. The trajectory of the blue frost projectiles was locked like rain. Mo Fan's machine ducked to one side, the shadow blade body was scratched and, clang, sparks flew everywhere. The shield shattered and dropped another 20%, the shock wave in the cabin hit his chest like a hammer, he groaned and spurted blood, and his vision was blurred. The audience burst into laughter and turned to say, trash dark horse. Black market instant kill, invisible joke. The hatch next to Luo Li's wreckage clicked open, and she staggered out with a pale face. The embers of the ice phoenix core sizzled and smoked, and her cold eyes stared at Mo Fan. His voice was hoarse and full of hatred. Mo Fan, you won the first round of the preliminaries, but Jiang Chen's black market has a bottomless pit, and the triple armor can defeat the coating. My intelligence was wrong, and I fell into trouble. The black market driver mocked the projection. The queen of trash is also here to join in the fun. Look at us stripping away the secret of invisibility. The second heavy armor wing gun swept across. Chu La, the shadow blade jumped, the magnetic net touched, buzz, when it landed, the nano chain spasmed, the roar of the engine turned into a wheeze. Mo Fan gritted his teeth and cursed, the heat wave bites back, pass. Load 20%, team, tactics. Bai Ning shouted urgently, Luo Li, lend me the frequency of the Ice Phoenix shield. Li Xiu shouted, during data transmission, the coding subchannel is turned on, and the pulse resistance is increased by 150%. Desperation was overwhelming. 3 machines were encircling them, the particle gun fired fire nets, rumbling, the gravel belt exploded into a sea of fire, the heat wave baked the air red, and the smell of scorched earth choked the lungs. The cracks in the shadow blade armor expanded, and Mo Fan felt as if man and machine were disconnected. The control lever was blurred with sweat and blood, but Luo Li's sudden projection connected to the terminal and said coldly, Ice Phoenix vibration code, here you go. Black market intelligence, Jiang Chen's Emperor machine merges with the fourth order pulse, and the final defeats your coding. Join forces, shovel my little brother. The audience was dead silent. The barrage exploded, the queen forms an alliance. The dark horse comes back to life. Li Xiu's eyes were bloodshot, and he pointed his thick fingers wildly, data fusion. Boy, third level invisibility restarts, group battle mode particle knife chain slash. Bai Ning's eyes flashed with tears, and his voice trembled, Mo Fan, letter coding, man and machine merge into one, invisible sweep. Invisible, fully open. Mo Fan roared, the coding ripples exploded, third level optical evaporation, radar deception, magnetic screen locking and Ice Phoenix frequency vibration, the nanotexture pulsed like a living thing, the magnetic network interference was neutralized by 150%, the shadow blade evaporated like a ghost, passing through the sea of fire silently. The engine heat wave was suppressed to an extremely low level, leaving only the slight trembling of the air. The 4-second cooldown is over, and the integration of man and machine is restored to its ultimate level. The heartbeat synchronously hums, dong dong, and the shadow blade moves smoothly like a second skin. The leader Scarface pilot's pupils shrank suddenly, and the heavy armor probe buzzed and scanned randomly. Where are the people? Coding evolution. Brothers, full firepower. The particle gun blindly fired, boom, but the shadow blade had already circled back 50 meters, and the AI prediction flashed, weakness locked, wing root 0.3 seconds. The particle knife buzzed, high-frequency oscillation of the nano edge, and the first slash exploded. Crack. In a silent flash, the leader's heavy armored wing shield cracked with ice, and frost mixed with sparks flew and burned the skin. The projection in the cockpit distorted and screamed, invisible side attack. The shield broke through one layer. The audience's eyes widened, and their throats the head rolled like a stick, the dark horse disappeared and reappeared. The queen is so excited. The shadow blade took advantage of the whirlwind, the thruster sprayed silently, and the second cut the inner layer, cha-cha, the frequency resonance exploded the energy shield like glass rain, and the core blue light was exposed. Li Xiu knelt down in the background and roared with tears and sweat, monster. The prediction of consecutive cuts is 99.5%, I gave the data in vain. Bai Ning covered his mouth with his hands, his pupils were dilated and wet, man and machine are integrated, impeccable, Luo Li's intelligence comes to the rescue. The third cut pierced the core, boom, the mushroom cloud burst into the sky with blood-red fire, the remnants of the heavy armor disintegrated, sizzling, and the driving projection collapsed and screamed, Master Jiang Chen, coding monster. The 2 and 3 heavy armors turned around and counterattacked, and the giant claws joined forces to smash the air and explode. The magnetic net was closed wildly, but the shadow blade remained invisible for 50 seconds. The ghosts shuttled through the gravel maze, and the particle knives chained like a tornado. King of invisibility. The particle knife slashes continuously, and the black market boy is reduced to ashes. The third machine's particle gun fired wildly at close range with a boom. The shadow blade shield was broken by 70%, but the cooling network hissed and converted the heat wave by 300%. The invisibility was not broken. In the cabin, Mo Fan's face was covered with blood but he smiled ferociously, black market dog, sweep across the coating. Finally, he cut the back of the neck and said, crack. Boom. All 3 machines were destroyed, the platform was scorched, the bloody claw fragments filled the nose with the smell of rust, and the roar of the engine gradually faded. Luo Li stumbled forward, her cold face pale and respectful, her eyes staring at Mo Fan like a ghost. Mo Fan, you win. I admit defeat and form an alliance. All black market intelligence is given. Jiang Chen's Imperial Machine Black Market integrates ancient wreckage pulses, 4th level grand coding, and there is an ambush on the final island. The audience was excited, and the host roared and projected, Dark Horse sweeps the 3 black market machines. Invisible group battle magic skill, Luo Li forms an alliance. Preliminary the elimination round begins, heading straight to the top of the top 50. The barrage went crazy, the queen surrenders, Jiang Chen's face turns green. Mo Fan jumped into the cabin, feeling the pain in her chest, and the scent of lavender comforted her. She cried and whispered, you are invincible. Li Xiu rushed over and slapped his shoulders, his voice was hoarse and trembling, boy, the frequency vibration, the resistance is off the charts, I worship you. The knockout rounds are in full swing, the energy gates of the floating island are rotating, sizzlingly, the rubble zone in the top 50 melee area has expanded into a battlefield jungle, the engines roar and tsunami, and the particle cannons shoot each other with fire and rain into the sky. Mo Fan's shadow blade was repaired in a hurry, and the shield's health returned to 40%. The team worked together, Bai Ning's tactical terrain attack, Li Xiu's remote frequency modulation, and Luo Li's intelligence to lock the weakness. Opponents took turns in the battle, the Fire Phoenix mecha burned the sky with its flaming wings, the shadow blade invisibly circled behind, and the particle knife slashed the wing root, chew, the shield-shattering driver's projection collapsed and screamed, invisible queen joins forces. The Thunder Eagle arc danced wildly, the frequency interference was ineffective, the AI predicted 99.5% side flash and slashed the core. Boom, the audience passers-by stared in admiration. The Dark Horse has won 10 games in a row. Man and machine are integrated into one, without a trace. The rock shield fortress is as heavy as a mountain, the magnetic screen locks the pulse, the particle knife frequency vibrates through the 3 layers, pop, 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 the debris hits the ground with a pop, pop, the voice in the opponent's cabin trembles with fear. Coding evolution, the road to championship is open. The climax of the preliminaries, the top 20 melee at the top, the island shook, rattling, the energy storm mixed with particle rain, and the smell of scorched earth and blood filled the air. Mo Fan's Shadow Blade engine was fully turned on and, rumbling, the blue flames tore through the sky, man and machine merged into one like a god, the invisible group swept the 19 machines, the particle knife tornado slashed continuously, buzzing, and the mountains of debris burned into the sky. The last enemy projection knelt down and begged, "Invisible King, spare your life." The host roared, "Mo Fan wins the preliminaries. Go straight to the finals and challenge Jiang Chen openly." The projections in Mo Fan's cabin roared to the audience, "Jiang Chen, black market dog. Invisible sweep in the finals, your emperor machine, I will kiss you broken." The audience went wild, and passers-by burst into tears and screamed, "Challenge the current champion. The Dark Horse Emperor is born." Luo Li projected and sneered, "Jiang Chen, the black market manipulated the alliance, and ambushed the energy tower on the final island. I will spit out all the information." The cheers dispersed, and the 3 of them retreated to the underground workshop. The rear cabin of the floating island landed in the ruins on the edge of the city with a bang. Parts piled up like mountains, the welding gun sizzled and sparks flew everywhere, and the smell of metal oil mixed with the smell of sweat. After a short repair, Mo Fan sat cross-legged outside the cabin. The sting of the chest wound was relieved by applying medicine. The magnetic lock of the shadow blade clicked and fixed. Li Xiu disassembled the coating sample with rough hands, his eyes flashing with bloodshot eyes. "Boy, the bounty of 100,000 star coins for the preliminary champion has arrived. There are 150,000 left, so there is no need to worry about upgrading the parts. 3rd level coating plus Ice Phoenix frequency vibration, antipulse 180%, invisibility stable for 80 seconds, cooling network the heat increased by 400%. I combined Luo Li's intelligence and added the 4th level wreckage scanning module, and the AI prediction increased by 100%. Bai Ning knelt down and fine-tuned the particle knife. Her nose was filled with the scent of lavender, and her fingertips gently touched Mo Fan's wounds. "Mo Fan, you are amazing." The audience turned to the hero with admiration. She blushed and shook her head with a gentle smile. Li Xiu laughed and slapped the table, "Team Iron Triangle plus the Queen, Jiang Chen's black market is over." On the eve of the finals, the 4th level coding test, scanning the ancient wreckage data lock core, the pinnacle of man-machine integration. Luo Li leaned against the wall, her cool eyes soft. "Information update, there are spies in Jiang Chen's workshop, watching you to scan the source. Be careful." As night falls, the lights in the workshop are dim, the welding gun whispers, "ZZ," the data terminal, DD, synchronizes the ancient wreckage map, the blue light shines on the faces of the 4 people, and they have gained a lot, 150,000 yuan, the prototype of the 4th level of coding. The team bond is as strong as iron, the glory of the preliminaries championship, and the tickets for the finals. Mo Fan closed his eyes and rested, feeling the pulse of the shadow blade like a heartbeat. His strength skyrocketed and he was full of confidence. He whispered, "Jiang Chen, invisible sweep, the reform of the alliance starts with your corpse." But the peace suddenly broke. The workshop alarm beeped wildly at midnight, the energy door was knocked open with a boom, and the projection of the dark imperial mecha flashed. Jiang Chen was here in person. The thick blood claw armor clicked, the 4th order pulse cannon buzzed and loaded, the scarred face twisted with a sinister smile. "Mo Fan, the bounty has been raised to 500,000. The black market wants your ancient wreckage data. A claw bombed to sweep down the terminal, and the scanned core data, Zila, was stolen and the stolen light group was sucked into the Emperor's machine. The blue light flourished. Li Xiu glared and shouted, the data was stolen. Jiang Chen fused the wreckage, and the coding nemesis was born. Bai Ning screamed and hugged Mo Fan, crisis. Before the finals, he raided and destroyed everything. Luo Li pulled out the particle gun, his face turned pale, the black market leader personally conquered, and the shadow blade was damaged. We haven't repaired it yet, Mo Fan's eyes darkened, his fist exploded, and the engine roared again, Jiang Chen. Invisible pursuit, I will retrieve the data personally, the bloody battle in the final begins. The Emperor machine pushed forward with a boom, the workshop was filled with flames, and the crisis swept across like a storm. The shadow of the Emperor's machine claws was like a toppling mountain. The boom hit smashed the steel beams of the workshop. Sparks exploded and mixed with oil stains and the scorched smell hit the nose. The dust and mist of the ruins filled the air like a gray-yellow curtain. Jiang Chen's projection enlarged the entire audience with a sinister smile. The blood-red paw prints reflected the dazzling light, and his voice rolled like thunder, Mo Fan, the data has been melted. The fourth-level pulse-killing coding, invisible dog corpse, bounty of 500,000, black market eternity. The damage to the shadow blade has not been repaired, and the shield is only for the 0% red light flashes, Didi, the engine is overloaded and gasps, whoosh, the heat wave backfires inside the cabin like a steamer, Mo Fan's chest hurts like a tear, the smell of blood is thick and chokes his throat, he roars and grabs the pole, the man-machine unites and barely wakes up, the nanopulsation is as weak as a dying heartbeat. Bai Ning screamed and hugged Mo Fan's waist, the scent of lavender was drowned by the smell of sweat, blood and rust, and her nails were embedded in his arm flesh and trembled, Mo Fan, the data is lost, the final coding has failed. Jiang Chen is here in person, we will all be destroyed. Li Xiu retreated and knocked down the pile of parts. Clang, his thick face was twisted and bloodshot, and his voice was hoarse like a beast, I'm a fourth-order prototype. Jiang Chen merged with the wreckage pulse, and the AI prediction dropped by 80%. Boy, the shadow blade can't hold a claw. Luo Li's particle gun clicked to load, his cold face was as white as paper, his eyes were flashing and he backed up against the wall, the information is wrong. The black market of the Emperor machine is top-notch, and the energy tower is constantly ambushing, retreat. The black market stronghold is deep in the ruins, the data can still be traced, but... Before he finished speaking, the particle cannon of the Emperor machine buzzed and charged up, the fourth-order blue light pulse expanded like a thunder net, the magnetic field with a diameter of 50 meters distorted the air, and the metal fragments in the workshop, ding-ding, sucked in the spinning. The barrage of the audience's remote live broadcast has exploded, Jiang Chen's night attack. The invisible Emperor's workshop was destroyed, data was stolen, and the dark horse in the preliminaries is finished. Projections of passers-by whispered and trembled, and some people covered their eyes and looked back, the black market leader personally conquered, crushed with a bounty of 500,000, and won a decisive victory on the eve of the finals. Mo Fan's eyes were as black as ink, and his fists there was a gurgling sound, and sweat and blood blurred his vision. He stepped hard and pushed forward, chi. The cracks in the shadow blade's armor expanded with a clack-clack, and he barely jumped out of the ruins. The particle knife hummed quietly without vibrating. The third-order ripples of the stealth coating barely unfolded. The optical evaporation was only 60%. The radar deception heat wave interfered with the erratic. The giant claw of the Emperor machine chased, boom, the platform shattered like an earthquake, the shadow blade sidestepped and brushed against the claw wind, the shock wave in the cabin was like a hammer, he groaned and spurted blood, the shield was shattered to 25%, the heat meter exploded red and hissed, and white smoke filled the air. Chase! Mo Fan roared and projected the entire team, the shadow blade engine overloaded and, rumbling, the blue flames tore through the night, the ruined jungle passed by, the Ice Phoenix frequency vibration could barely withstand 180% pulse, but the fourth-level nemesis suppressed it like an invisible shackle, and the invisibility lasted only 40 seconds before shaking and failing. Jiang Chen chased after him with a mocking shout, "Invisible residual candle, attacking the black market at night? Brothers, block the stronghold and strip him naked." Bai Ning connected to the terminal, his voice trembling with tears. "Mo Fan, terrain navigation is sent. Li Xiu, remote magnetic coagulant third-level injection, delay pulse for 5 seconds." Li Xiu he climbed up from the ruins, smashed his thick arms on the ground and roared, the data stream flashing red, "I try. But the data is stolen, it will take time to crack, hold on, kid." Luo Li followed and jumped onto the wreckage of the auxiliary mecha, and said coldly, "The energy gate of the black market stronghold is weak, I will give you the frequency vibration code, and the resonance will explode." The night wind roars and the ruins are rusty and rotten. The black market stronghold in the lower level of the suspended city is like a giant beast's lair. The energy gate sizzles with pulsating blue light. 10 guards in heavy armor surround it. The engine roars, boom, and shakes the ground. The particle gun barrel sweeps the night sky. The magnetic network patrol buzzes, and is densely covered with spider silk. The shadow blade approached 50 meters invisibly, and the coated nanochains convulsed and accumulated heat. Mo Fan gritted his teeth and sweated in the cabin, and the vision AI prediction dropped to 90%. The integration of man and machine shivered like a broken string on a harp. The damage is too heavy. Guarding the fire network, the particle knife slashed 3 machines in a row. Jiang Chen's Emperor machine followed 100 meters away, and the pilot with a scarred face smiled grimly, "Dark Horse night attack." The entire network is locked, the pulse frequency is 800 Hz, and the coating is stripped off. The leader of the guard's heavy armor probe buzzed and scanned randomly, and the voice in the cockpit taunted vulgarly, "Master Jiang Chen's data has been melted, and the invisible waste is destined to die." The particle gun blindly fired, boom, rain of fire swept the scorched earth of the jungle, and the heat wave roasted the red air and stung the nose. The shadow blade ghost penetrated the edge of the magnetic network, the Ice Phoenix frequency vibration interfered by 150%, the nanometer mesh pulsation was barely neutralized, but it remained stable for only 20 seconds, and the cooling network was overloaded to 300% to gasp for breath. Mo Fan's heart beat in sync with a low, dong-dong sound, and the control stick was slippery with blood. The first cut of the particle knife passed silently past the leader's wing root with a crack sound. The shield cracked and ice cracked, frost shards flew and froze the metal, but only one layer was broken. The second and third guard planes double-teamed, the wing guns swept, cha-la-la, the magnetic net tightened, the coating peeled off by 20%, and the invisible failure exposed the blue light afterimage. The particle gun fired a volley of fire nets, rumbling, the trajectory of the blue frost projectiles was locked, Mofan's man-machine integration flashed sideways at the extreme limit, the shadow blade body was scratched and sparks splashed, clang, the shield was shattered to 10%, the heat wave backfired like fire burning the body, sweat and blood mixed with dripping, pop, on the control console. Bai Ning screamed and projected from the far end, "Mo Fan, retreat. The guard ace team is on alert, and the firepower has been upgraded." Li Xiu, during data tracking, Jiang Chen's fusion module was exposed, alliance high-level collusion with the black market, selling banned mechas. Military crisis, the final island energy tower contains a nuclear explosion trap. Luo Li vibrated the code wildly, "Blast the door. Infiltrate the inside." The audience's live barrage was suppressed and violent, the night attack failed. The black market stronghold was crushed, the invisible emperor's shield was shattered, Jiang Chen's pulse nemesis was invincible. The passerby's projection glared and whispered trembling, "The preliminaries heroes were destroyed in the night, the data will be lost forever, and the black market conspiracy was exposed too late." The shadow blade engine roared and wheezed, the thruster, shishi, micro-squirted, the particle knife continuously slashed the core of the second machine, boom, the residue was scattered and the smell of rust was choked in the lungs, but the claw of the third machine hit the back of the neck. Bang, the armor dented and squeaked. Mo Fan's field of view in the cabin expanded, and his chest hurt like a collapse. Team, coded anti-magnetic version, upgrade quickly. The Imperial machine approached 30 meters, the fourth-order pulse cannon was loaded, buzzing, the blue net pressed the air like lead, the stronghold's energy gate sizzled, fully opened, the tsunami of 20 Ace Team engines, rumbling, surged out, the thick armor scales reflected blood light, and the prohibited nuclear fusion gun barrel pulsed with red light. The projection of the leader of the Ace Team twisted with a sinister smile. Lord Jiang Chen's order, destroy the invisible bugs. The prohibited mechas are fully activated, and the frequency of nuclear explosions exceeds the coding. The particle cannon plus nuclear network fired, boom boom boom, the sea of fire engulfed the jungle, the smell of scorched earth and blood mixed with the pungent stench of nuclear radiation, the shadow blade peeled off after only 10 seconds after the invisible restart, and the Shield Zero alarm, DDD, was as harsh as a needle pricking the brain. Mo Fan punched the bulkhead with a bang, and there were blood stains. Man and machine are one, hold on. Side flash gorilla, the particle knife frequently vibrated and chopped off one wing, crack, but the team's firepower network had no gaps. The claws struck a series of bang, the shadow blade rolled to the ground and splashed rubble like shrapnel and scratched the cabin glass, crack. Li Xiu's far-end cracked data light group projection flashed, and he shed tears with his thick fingers. Get 30% back. Evidence of military conspiracy. Alliance elders sold banned nuclear machines to the black market, planned to blow up the final island. Bai Ning's fingers trembled and he injected anti-magnetic agent, the first level of coded anti-magnetic version. The pulse resistance increases by 220%, and the invisibility remains stable for 60 seconds. Mo Fan, trust me. Luo Li's auxiliary mecha side attacked and interfered, the retreat line is opened, the resonance explodes the network. But the Ace Team's nuclear cannon locked on and buzzed, the red light accumulated like the red moon at the end of the world. Mo Fan's breathing was rapid, his heartbeat was erratic, the man-machine integration was intermittently like a nightmare, and the shadow blade engine was overloaded and the red light flashed wildly, hissing. Jiang Chen's Imperial machine finally arrived, with its giant claws holding high, boom, the platform collapsed and dust clouds rose into the sky. The guards cheered and projected, suppress insects. Data will always be black market. Despair was like a black cloud, the coating peeled off and burned by the heat wave, only 30% of the data was left in pieces, and everything was destroyed on the eve of the final. Stealth guerrilla outbreak. The anti-magnetic coating ripples wildly, the nanochains pulse like an angry dragon awakening, the pulses are neutralized by 220%, the shadow blade evaporates without leaving a trace, leaving only a slight trembling heat trace in the air. Mo Fan roared in pain, the AI prediction increased by 95%, the particle knife chain, buzzed, silent tornado, the wing roots of the first team, cracked, the nuclear shield cracked ice, frost and fire splashed, and the projection in the cockpit screamed and shrank, anti-magnetic evolution. Hidden. Gorilla, what a god. The audience's barrage turned to shock, Dark Horse is not dead. Antipulse, night attack. The shadow blade ghost flew through the fire net, and the wreckage hit the ground with a bang bang, and the smell of rust core filled the air. Li Xiu knelt down and roared in ecstasy, monster. 50% of the data has been recovered, I worship you. Bai Ning's eyes widened with tears, invincible, man and machine become one, the Gorilla King. The Ace Team turned around to counterattack, and the nuclear net was sizzling wildly, but the stealth remained stable for 55 seconds. The shadow blade circled back 50 meters, slashed 4 wings in a row, and the gun broke, click. The shield was shattered and the heat wave backfired and roasted their armor red. The driver's voice was fearful and trembling, and the projection, impossible, violation, forbidden team, guerrilla nemesis. Lord Jiang Chen, retreat. Jiang Chen's Imperial machine pulse blindly shot, boom, the blue net tore up the night, but the anti-magnetic version blocked the interference by 300%, the shadow blade passed by without any damage, and the particle knife finally stabbed the back of the machine, crack. Boom, the mushroom cloud shot into the sky. Mo Fan smiled fiercely in the cabin, get all the data. Luo Li's projection was in awe, Queen's intelligence plus anti-magnetic, magical skills, the escape line is open. The team joined forces, the shadow blade stalked the guerrillas invisibly, killing 8 machines and creating a mountain of debris. Li Xiu recovered 70% of all data. The projection evidence flashed, the Alliance's top executives projected a contract with the black market, a list of prohibited mecha sales, and a naked nuclear explosion conspiracy on the final island. Bai Ning upgraded to the second-level anti-magnetic injection, the coding is perfect, Jiang Chen can be defeated in the finals. However, the Ace Remnant team plus the Emperor machine are approaching, the nuclear fire sea engulfs the retreat, the cracks in the Shadow Blade armor expand, and the heat accumulation approaches the limit. Mo Fan gritted his teeth and jumped out of the stronghold. The engine was fully powered and, boom, tore through the air. He retreated into the depths of the ruins under invisible cover. Jiang Chen roared and chased after him, final island, waiting for your corpse. At dawn, the energy gate of the suspended competition island rotated at the opening of the finals. A tsunami of 500,000 spectators was boiling with projections. The host roared, preliminary champion Mo Fan vs current Jiang Chen. Thunder Overlord exposed, black market prohibited fusion, super firepower 8th level pulse cannon plus nuclear shield permanent, defeating all coatings. Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord appeared, his thick body cracked on the island, and his blood claws were upgraded. The red thunder pulsed, the gun barrel buzzed, and the red light swallowed the sky. The projection smiled ferociously, invisible bug, I have the data, the encirclement and suppression begins, your doomsday. The audience gasped, and the barrage suppressed, the Thunder Overlord is invincible. The Dark Horse only escapes from the night attack, the encirclement and suppression is about to begin. Mo Fan's Shadow Blade platform is in place, the anti-magnetic coating pulsates lowly, the team's projection is firm, but the shadow is shrouded, and the crisis is like a storm gathering momentum. The black armored mecha advances, boom, the particle gun is locked, the energy network tightens the island, the storm rises again, the secret of invisibility becomes the prey of the black market, the road to championship is blood-stained. The Lake Iron Guard mecha was the first to jump out of the platform. Its thick body was like a steel fortress, crushing the rock formations of the arena island. It carried an 8th-order pulse gun barrel on its shoulders that buzzed the red light to store energy. The engine tsunami, rumbling, was deafening, and the heat wave distorted the air and roasted the surrounding guardrails red. The lake projection in the cabin enlarged its scarred face with a ferocious smile, Dark Horse running away at night. Master Jiang Chen's data is completely melted. Thermal imaging locks the heat marks on your coating. The 8th level pulse defeats invisibility. A cannon is thrown away. The audience's barrage poured out and suppressed, the ace of the Iron Guard is undefeated, the thermal imaging defeats the coating, the Dark Horse is finished. The passerby's projection widened its eyes and trembled and whispered, you only escaped the night attack, the final group is destroyed, and the hero's dream is shattered. Mo Fan's chest pain in the cabin was as painful as tearing. The smell of rust oozing from the blood scabs filled his nose. He held the control stick in his fist and made a clucking sound. His visual field AI prediction was only 95% and flickered slightly. The Shadow Blade shield returned to 0 and the red light, died, stung his brain. The cracks in the armor expanded like a spider web. The heat wave from the overloaded engine was like a furnace scalding the skin. The integration of man and machine pulsed intermittently, and his mind flashed through the mountain of debris from the 8-machine night attack on the black market, 70% of the data as evidence, Jiang Chen chasing after him with a hideous smile, and the psychological game like a knife, fighting against the Iron Guard. Thermal imaging failure has not been confirmed, the thruster damage has been accelerated by only 70%, and everything is destroyed. The team believes in me. The conspiracy is exposed and we need to win. He growled and pressed his teeth. Shadow blade, fully invisibility, second-level anti-magnetic pulsation, frequency vibrating ice phoenix antipulse 220%, outwit, not hard hit. The shadow blade engine pressed hard and boom, the blue flame tore through the dawn fog, the anti-magnetic coating rippled and the nanochains surged like an angry dragon awakening, the optics evaporated without a trace, the radar magnetic screen deceived the enemy and became erratic, the cooling network was overloaded to 300% and gasped whoosh. The Iron Guard's gun barrel locked the first shot and boomed, the 8th order pulse red net exploded like a blood python, the 80-meter diameter twisted magnetic field attracted metal fragments and swirled ding-ding, and the thermal imaging scan heat marks flashed, sizzling. The shadow blade flashed ghostly sideways, and the coating was overheated and failed, leaving only a slight tremor in the air. The particle knife hummed low and did not vibrate. Mo Fan's vision was blurred with sweat and blood in the cabin, and his heartbeat was synchronized with a dong-dong sound, thermal imaging, blind. Winning the first step of the game. But the advance slowly passed the edge of the net, the armor cracked, click, sparks splashed into the glass of the cabin, and the heat wave backfired like a fire whip. He groaned and bit his lip. If you slow down, you will be the second cannon fodder. Bai Ning's tearful eyes enlarged in the far-end projection, and he was drowned by blood and iron in the illusion of lavender fragrance. His fingertips trembled and he monitored the energy flow. Didi, Mo Fan, the energy tower is left at 65%, and the cooling network is overloaded and heating up. The Iron Guard's thermal imaging failed to confirm, the coating is amazing, but the thruster is hot-locked and slowed down by 20%. Li Xiu's rough face was twisted and bloodshot, and the ruins were modified. The parts were smashed on the stage with a clang, and the data light group flashed and was injected in real time. Boss, the magnetic coagulation accelerated version of the propeller is level 3, remotely welded in. Delayed for 5 seconds, explosion speed 150%, monster, hold on. Luo Li's auxiliary projection's cold face turned pale, and the vibration code was transmitted wildly. The rear wing frequency of the Iron Guard's weak point is 720 Hz, resonance blasts the shield, I will attack from the side. The energy gate, sizzled, fully opened, the suspended competition island trembled violently like a giant beast waking up, 500,000 spectators' projections roared like a tsunami, fluorescent faces were distorted and fanatical, and the air was filled with the stench of overheated metal and the salty smell of sweat. The host's voice exploded like thunder, the first battle of the final group stage. The dark horse of the preliminaries, Mo Fan Shadow Blade, versus the Ace Iron Guard Captain, Lake. The 8th level pulse assists Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord, simulating a military crisis battle, and 4 reinforcements will arrive at any time. Invisible coating Nemesis, let's start the war. The 4 aircraft reinforcements boom, boom, boom above the competition island fell like meteorites, the black market band heavy armor wings spread out, the nuclear fusion gun barrels pulsed with red light, the heavy roar of the engines shook the island, the particle gun barrels swept the fire rain boom, and the magnetic net buzzed and spider silk densely blocked the air. The leading rescue machine projected a grin, the remnants of the ace team, revenge for the night attack. Nuclear cannons defeated the coating, and the thermal imaging upgrade locked it. The fire network engulfed the platform, the scorched earth, bloody nuclear stench filled the air, and the rock formations melted and, sizzling, red slurry spewed. Li Xiu welded the shadow blade thruster into a chi explosion, the 3rd level acceleration blue flame surged by 150%, the integration of man and machine was as smooth as water, and Mo Fan's mind was electrically transformed. 5 machines encircled and suppressed, there was no way to defeat with force, and outsmarted by division. Cut off the wings first, then penetrate the back of the neck invisibly, and the data and evidence must be tortured alive. The shadow blade remained invisible for 60 seconds, making ripples and making no sound, avoiding the Iron Guard's second bomb. The red net passed through the heat wave and burned the sky. The thermal imaging of the coating completely failed and only the shadow was erratic. Mo Fan's rod was wet with blood, and the particle blade's nano-frequency vibration chain, buzz, tornado erupted. The first wing of the rescue aircraft cracked, the nuclear shield cracked ice, frost and fire splashed and scorched the metal. The cockpit projection screamed and his eyes bulged. Thermal imaging is blind. Stealth gorilla, magical skill. The wings are broken, and the energy is released by 180%. The broken wing hit the ground with a bang bang, and the gravel shrapnel was cut into the air. The stench of rust core choked the lungs. The audience's tsunami turned into shock. The dark horse is broken. The coating heat fails, 5 machines shoot indiscriminately. The passers-by leaned back and covered their mouths under the projection and trembled. The god of night attack reappears, a military crisis is simulated, the Dark Horse King. Bai Ning screamed and projected tears of joy, stabilize the energy. Advance the god of explosion, Li Xiu is a genius. Li Xiu knelt down and roared with ecstasy, tears of sweat, and hit the stage with his thick arms. Monster boss, the data is perfectly welded in real time, I worship you. But the Iron Guard plus 3 support aircraft circled and spun around, the nuclear network gathered, ZZ, wildly, the particle gun fire rain, bombed, to lock the Phantom, and the magnetic field pressed the air like lead. The Shadow Blade Ghost circled back 50 meters, and the second core of the second rescue aircraft, boomed. A mushroom cloud shot up into the sky, and the driver's voice shivered with fear and projection, impossible, prohibited nuclear accumulation, thermal imaging 0. Master Jiang Chen, retreat. Mo Fan laughed fiercely in the cabin, and the game in his heart was like a chess game. Jiang Chen watched the battle, the rescue aircraft had living evidence, and the conspiracy of cutting off the 3 machines to extract confessions. His chest hurt and his vision was black, but he growled, man and machine become one, peak. The third chopper frequency vibration locked the 3 back necks of the rescue machine and, crack. Boom, the particle knife silently torn through the nuclear shield, frost shards splashed and mixed with red slurry, the debris piled up and the iron smell filled the air, the driver's projection collapsed and shrieked, pupils shrank, coating defeats the core. The Dark Horse is invincible, data leakage, the Alliance Elder sells the machine on the black market, a nuclear explosion island trap. The audience bombarded, destroy 3 machines. Conspiracy evidence, thermal imaging failure magic skill, Dark Horse against the sky. Iron Guard Reich's face turned pale with sweat, and his roar was hoarse and trembling, reinforcement cut off 3. Stealth Division King, the heat map is useless, Jiang Chen, the crisis escalates. The remaining reinforcements plus Iron Guard rush to attack, the nuclear cannon is charged to the top, but the Shadow Blade advances to 150%, stealth restarts to infiltrate the blind zone, the 4th attack is not reached, psychological calculation, enough to force a confession, withdraw the platform and gather momentum. Luo Li's projection suddenly flashed and said coldly, Mo Fan, I am in awe of my magical skills. But the information, Jiang Chen sent me a private message to buy 500,000 plus the Queen's position. The betrayal code has been passed to him, and the frequency of the coding in the final battle has been leaked. Mo Fan's eyes narrowed and his heart twisted like a knife, the Queen was stabbed in the back. The night attack creates the illusion of alliance, 70% of the data is almost lost, the decisive battle intelligence is leaked and the desperate situation comes again. The punch in the cabin was stained with blood, and he growled, Luo Li, it's a game, the belief is wrong. But the Shadow Blade jumped to avoid the nuclear fire, the particle knife ended up cutting the Iron Guard wing with a click, the frost cracked, the heat wave backfired and roasted its armor red, and Lake projected back in fear, Queen's betrayal. The Dark Horse coding is all-knowing, and there are variables in the final encirclement and suppression. Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord blood claw raised, boom, high, and the 8th level pulse cannon's red light swallowed the sky with a ferocious smile, the betrayal is perfect. The intelligence is leaked, the invisible doomsday, the nuclear explosion on the decisive battle island is waiting for you. The audience gasped, and the barrage was dead silent, thermal imaging failed. The dark horse coating evolved, and Taiwei shot blindly. Tiewei's pupils shrank suddenly in the lake cabin of Taiwei, and he shouted roughly at the projection, "Impossible. The heat trace evaporates." Lord Jiang Chen, simulate the crisis, for reinforcements are coming to encircle the invisible bugs. Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord platform cracked the island, and the blood-clawed red thunder pulsated with a sinister smile. The data predicts that your heat map will be permanent, and the 8th level nuclear shield will defeat the doomsday. The remnant wing of the Iron Guard fell to the island with a boom. The smoke and dust filled the sky and the core smell was pungent. The guardrail of the competition island melted and buckled, and 500,000 projected faces twisted from despair to shocking worship. Some people jumped up and shouted, "Dark Horse cut off reinforcements 3 times. Thermal imaging god failed, military simulation duel 5 wins." The host's voice cracked the air, first victory in the group stage. Mo Fan's Shadow Blade, stealth guerrilla defeats the core shield, conspiracy evidence exposed. Jiang Chen Thunder, wait for the next battle. But Jiang Chen's projected scarred face enlarged, and the red thunder pulse shook the island. Small victory over the insect. Luo Li's information is complete, the frequency of the decisive battle is locked, and the corpses of the nuclear explosion are on the island. Mo Fan's chest was bleeding, and his heart was like a hammer. Traitor Luo Li, 100% of the data needs to be sacrificed. The iron triangle of the team, Bai Ning and Li Xiu, I plan to counterbribe and outwit the black market routes. Li Xiu's distant light ball flashed wildly, and he clicked with his thick fingers in tears. "Boss, Luo Li's tracking code was implanted and reverse-hacked her terminal. The data is 80%, the nuclear explosion blueprint was intercepted, and the weakness of the final island energy tower was exposed." Bai Ning's fingers flew and injected energy stabilizer. With a trembling and affectionate voice, "Mo Fan, I love you. The 3rd level prototype of the coding, the thermal imaging will never work, trust the team." The Shadow Blade engine roared back, the nanochain pulsed like a heartbeat. Mo Fan smiled with pain, the desperate situation suppressed, counterattack launched. But Luo Li's auxiliary mecha platform jumped out, her cold eyes flashed with guilt and then turned harshly. "Jiang Chen's bounty queen, Mo Fan, I'm sorry, give him all the frequency vibration codes." The audience's barrage exploded, betrayal confirmed. Dark Horse crisis rises, the decisive battle information is leaked. When will the reversal come true? The rotation of the energy gate on the competition island intensified the buzzing, and the second group had a bye to gather momentum. Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord's huge claws tapped the ground, click, the nuclear shield's permanent red light pulsated and oppressed the entire audience, and the air was heavy with heat and the skin was roasted. Mo Fan's mind was in a flash, Luo Li was sacrificed, the ghost in the black market was exposed, the alliance elders were arranged, and the champion was restructured. The Shadow Blade particle knife vibrates, buzzing, the integration of man and machine is at its peak smoothness, the 2nd level of antimagnetic ripples are faintly visible at the 3rd level, and the invisible Gorilla King returns. But the shadow of the traitor looms, information about the final battle is on the verge of being leaked, and crises are surging like an undercurrent. The energy gate of the competition island buzzed like a heart spasm, the cracks in the rock formations on the suspended platform spread, crack, and the projection of 500,000 spectators distorted their faces like a volcanic eruption. Some people covered their chests and leaned back and shouted, "It's just a small victory for the Dark Horse." Queen Luo Li's information was leaked, Jiang Chen's thunder bombed the island and other corpses were left, the invisible coating failed in the finals, the hero the dream is shattered into ashes. The pungent smell of nuclear rust mixed with blood fills the air. The heat wave distorts the vision and bakes the bulkheads red. The Shadow Blade engine wheezes and whines. The cracks in the armor seep out of the residual heat of blue flames like wounds. Only 62% of the energy tower's red light flashes. The 3rd order solder joint of the thruster sizzles, and is overloaded to the limit. Mo Fan's vision was blurred by blood and sweat, and the black edge of his vision expanded. His chest was broken and the smell of rust was choking his lungs. He punched the control stick and, bang, was stained with blood. His fierce eyes were as black as the abyss. Luo Li is a traitor, the information is leaked and the situation is desperate. But Li Xiu counterattacked 80% of the conspiracy. At the moment of exposure, the team believed in me, and the reversal started from hell. The integration of man and machine pulses intermittently like a beating heart, the particle knife's nano-frequency vibration hums and gathers momentum, the second-order anti-magnetic ripples faintly pulsate in the third-order embryonic form, and the thermal imaging trump card never fails. Luo Li's auxiliary mecha jumped out of the platform, the projection of her cold face magnified the guilt in her eyes, which flickered and turned vicious. She vibrated her wings, buzzing, and unfolded the shadow of the blue light pulse-locking shadow blade. The heavy roar of the engine, rumbling, crushed the rock fragments and flew. She laughed hoarsely and projected, "Mo fan, I have been in awe of the magical skills. But Jiang Chen has 500,000 star coins plus female Wang Yongji, the vibration code is fully transmitted, the coding frequency is 720 Hz, and the thermal neutralization failure rate is 95%. The black market reinforcements are coming again, and the corpse pile is exploded. The queen is really traitorous. The dark horse coding frequency is leaked, the final nemesis is coming, it's over." Scoff, Bai Yen, the night attack magic skills are useless again, the intelligence battle is lost, the Iron Guard's remnants are a sign of the doom of the dark horse. Bai Ning's far-end projection collapsed with tears, the lavender fantasy fragrance was drowned in blood and iron, his slender fingers trembled and the energy flow, Didi, Mo fan, Luo Li's frequency vibration locks me to monitor the heating up, the third-level coding injection delay, hold on, love. You will never give up. Li Xiu's thick face was twisted and bloodshot, his thick arms smashed the parts, and sparks flew everywhere, and the data light ball flashed like thunder. Monster boss, counterattack 95% of Luo Li's terminal. The nuclear explosion blueprint plus the Elder's black market transfer are all intercepted, and the bounty tracking locks Jiang Chen's account. Queen bitch, the terminal is collapsing. The huge body of Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord knocked on the ground and, rummed, the 8th order pulse gun barrel's red light pulsated like a blood python waking up, the nuclear shield was permanently superimposed on layers of red mist and distorted the air, the engine tsunami, boom, rumble, shook the island and shook the guardrails and melted and bent, sizzling, Blood Claw held up the projection and the scarred face enlarged with a grin. Insect small victory. Luo Li's intelligence is perfect, coding frequency is omniscient, thermal imaging upgrade plus frequency vibration defeat, I will defeat it in the semifinals. The black market leader watched the game, the alliance elders bribed, the championship right power your dream. The heat wave backfired and the lava splashed on the red platform. 500,000 projections were suppressed, and someone whispered and trembled, the Thunder Overlord's 8th level nuclear shield is invincible, the Dark Horse's invisibility is invalid, and the corpse in the semifinals. The host's voice exploded, the group stage is by. The semifinals are Dark Horse Mo Fan's Shadow Blade, against the current champion Jiang Chen's Thunder Overlord. Simulate a nuclear explosion island crisis, unlimited reinforcements, black market bans, final trial of invisible coding. The energy gate is fully opened and sizzling, like a doomsday rift, the competition island is trembling and the beast is roaring, the Shadow Blade engine is pressing, boom, the blue flame is tearing the mist and advancing to the third level of 150% explosive charge, the integration of man and machine is as smooth as mercury pouring on the ground, Mo Fan's mental electric game is like a knife. Luo Li frequency vibration lock. The third order prototype has frequency conversion and self-adaptation, and the thermal failure is permanent. Cut off her wings first to force her to rebel, and hack into the black market to be exposed. The particle knife, buzzed, and the nano-tornado accumulated energy, the anti-magnetic coating was fully opened, ripples surged wildly, the nano-chain angry dragon awakened, the optical evaporation disappeared without a trace, the magnetic screen of the radar erratic, the cooling network thermally transferred to 300% overload and whooshed and gasped and evaporated. Luo Li's wings fluttered to lock the first shot, boom, and the blue pulse web exploded like a spider's silk, opening up a twisted magnetic field with a diameter of 100 meters, sucking rock debris and spinning, ding-ding, but the shadow blade's ghostly side flicker frequency changed to 720 Hz plus 10%, and the coating was thermally neutralized with zero traces. Only the air trembled lightly and brushed against the propulsive heat wave and burned the air, chi. In the cabin, Mo Fan was blurred with sweat and blood, and his heartbeat was thumping in synchrony. He growled and gritted his teeth, frequency vibration, blind. The third-level adaptive game is won. But the new crack in the armor expanded, click, and the sparks splashed into the glass of the cabin. The audience gasped and the barrage was silent. Queen's frequency vibration has failed. The Dark Horse coating has evolved to the third level, and the invisibility of the god has leaked. In the Luo Li cabin, the cold face turned white and the pupils shrank and trembled, and the control stick clucked. It's impossible, the frequency changes automatically. Jiang Chen, the legend outside the coating, the queen of the bounty. Li Xiu flashed and roared, "Boss, anti-hacking is 100%. The virus is implanted in Luo Li's terminal, the black market system portal is opened, and all the prohibited modification data. Jiang Chen's thunder nuclear shield is black. The city bribed the elder and transferred the evidence of 3 million star coins." Bai Ning screamed with tears of joy and the scent of lavender filled her nose. Mo Fan, the third-level coating is fully injected. The energy tower is 70% stable, and the thermal failure is permanent. I love you invincibly. The data light screen exploded, black market transfer records plus nuclear explosion blueprints plus signatures of elders flashed like lightning strikes. The projection of 500,000 spectators stared back with wide eyes and roared like a tsunami. Conspiracy exposed. Jiang Chen, the black market dog, the elder is traitorous to the country and banned nuclear weapons. The alliance is investigating. Dark Horse Justice King. Luo Li's projection suddenly flashed with guilt and enlarged the tears. Her cold eyes turned and she growled firmly, "Mo Fan. I was wrong with the bounty temptation, the data virus burned my brain, I regret the ghosts in the black market." They joined forces to fight against each other, and the frequency vibration code locked Jiang Chen's weakness, the core frequency of thunder 850 Hz, resonance explosion nuclear shield. She turned around and struck the red mist with a blue pulse. The audience was excited and distorted their faces with admiration and trembling. The queen turned against the enemy. The 5-person Dark Horse team, the plot collapsed, it was so exciting. Jiang Chen's scarred face twisted and roared with bloodshot eyes, "Traitor bitch." The 8th level pulse destroys everything, the nuclear shield is permanently fixed, the corpse pile in the semifinals. The thunder barrel locked and fired wildly, and the red net blood python swallowed the sky and the thermal imaging was swept away without a trace. Blade Quan's stealth mode remained stable for 90 seconds with ripples and no sound. It advanced at an explosive speed and ripped through the air. The ghost circled back 100 meters. The peak of man-machine integration was as smooth as a ghost. Mo Fan's fierce and bloody smile made the psychological chess game determined. Luo Li turned against the enemy with all the evidence, and the particle knife pierced the core. The particle knife's nano-frequency vibration chain, buzz-buzz, tornado erupted, the ice phoenix antipulse frost and fire splashed, crack, snap, piercing the core of the back of the thunder's neck, boom, the 850 Hz resonance locked Luo Li's assist, the nuclear shield layer upon layer of ice cracked and red slurry splashed, sizzling, the energy leaked 8 the 0% red light collapsed and twisted, and Jiang Chen's projection eyeballs in the cockpit roared and trembled in fear. The coating is completely hidden from the gods. The core resonance cracks, forbidden data, no. The heat wave backfired and roasted its huge body red, the remaining shield fragments, ding-ding, bombed the lava island, and the nuclear stench and rust filled the entire place. The audience jumped up in a tsunami and yelled with projection distortion, Dark Horse particles pierced the core. Jiang Chen's shield collapsed, the Alliance launched an investigation, the Elders' black market got out, justice was so exciting. Passers-by stared wide-eyed, covered their mouths, and looked back in tears. Invisible Gorilla King plus Queen turned against the enemy, the semi-finals defied the will, a heroic legend. The Thunder Overlord staggered back and the platform boomed, with smoke and dust rising into the sky. The red light wheezed and the shield returned to zero. The red light, Didi. In the cabin, Jiang Chen was blurred with sweat and blood, and his ferocious smile turned twisted. Small victory. The leader of the black market has arrived. The ancient wreckage has merged in the final, and the coding has been lost. The end of the world. The empty door cracked open, the black market leader's ghost-level mecha meteorite fell, boom boom boom, the dark forbidden coding pulsated with ancient light, the engine roared heavily and the island collapsed, the particle cannon swallowed the light like a black hole and locked the entire audience, projecting a skinny old face. "En pray, the bribery of the elders is ineffective, Jiang Chen merges with my ancient scanned wreckage, and the invisible frequency is upgraded to omniscience. In the final, the nuclear explosion will kill your whole family." 500,000 projections turned to deathly silence, fear and trembling, and whispered, "The ancient wreckage of the boss." The coded nemesis descends, the dark horse the crisis is coming again, the failed hook. The shadow blade platform's charged particle knife hummed, the armor cracked and expanded the engine's extreme heat accumulation, whirring, Mo Fan's chest was bleeding and his eyes were burning black. The game of ancient wreckage, the new trump card is fully activated at the third level, the final reversal of the Champions Reform Alliance. Bai Ning hugged the projection in tears, Mo Fan, love you, energy escort. Li Xiu knelt down and roared in ecstasy, monster, Data Gujan has invaded. Luo Li coldly and firmly said, work together to atone. The undercurrent of crisis is surging, and the final battle of the storm is gaining momentum. The limit rotation of the energy gate buzzed like the doomsday bell, and the guardrail of the competition island was fully melted and the red slurry spattered. The audience's barrage suppressed the explosion. Boss ancient fusion. Invisible failure harbinger, when will the dark horse rise in despair? Jiang Chen's thunderous body crawled up with red light and reunited, his bloody claws knocked on the ground, click click, gravel bombs, and he laughed side by side with the leader and projected, coding end road, the frequency is locked, the ancient scan heat map is omniscient. The fist in Mo Fan's cabin clacked, and the man-machine pulsation peaked like a dragon awakening, roaring with despair, Team Iron, conspiracy exposed, champion hand. Invisible and immortal, awesome. The blue flames roared, the third-order ripples of the nanochain surged, the thermal failure card was extremely suppressed, and the rebound would shatter the starry sky. The molten lava on the guardrail of the arena island was boiling like a blood pool in hell. The faces of the 500,000 projection viewers were twisted into desperate ghosts. Some people held their heads and threw back their heads, shouting with blood rising in their throats, the ancient wreckage of the black market leader has arrived. The invisible frequency is omniscient, the shadow blade coding has failed, and the hero's corpse is dead. Nuclear explosion. The smell of rusty cores in the air is pungent with the smell of burnt meat. The heat wave distorts the vision and bakes the cracks in the bulkhead red. The shadow blade engine gasps for breath and the heat accumulates like a heart spasm. The multi-cracked blue flames of the armor seep out in steam, and the red light of the energy tower stings the brain. Only 65% is left. In the cabin, Mo Fan was blurred with blood and sweat, his chest was cracked and the smell of rust was choking his lungs. He punched the glass and the cracks spread. His fierce eyes were black and on fire, a game of ancient wreckage. The team has faith, the third-level coding is immortal. However, the integration of man and machine pulsed intermittently, the particle knife hummed and gathered momentum, and the thruster solder joints smoked to the limit. Suddenly, the energy gates in the entire field buzzed and stopped like a power outage. The Alliance's giant projection screen exploded with dazzling golden light. The elder's withered face was ashen and he roared loudly to shake the island. The illegal black market was exposed. The game was suspended for investigation, Jiang Chen Thunder plus the boss ghost were all impounded, and the ancient wreckage data was locked, the championship is postponed. The audience's barrage turned into a poisonous rain. Pause. The dark horse is only half win, the investigation delays the black market's counterattack, the invisible magic is useless. The passerby's eyes widened and trembled, holding his chest and leaning back, and the sweat evaporated. Justice is a moment, black market. The leader has a sinister face and is not afraid. In the rematch, he manipulates the evil in the alliance, and the hero's dream is shattered. The red light of Jiang Chen's broken body reunited with his bloody claws and clicked on the broken rocks. The scarred face smiled and the projection was distorted. Pause. The boss of the black market bought 80% of the money. In the rematch, the dark mine merged with my old leader, making him anti-invisible. The detector locks the frequency and is omniscient, killing your whole family. The black market leader's huge ghost body, the dark pulsating Gumong engine, roared over the island, and the particle cannon black hole swallowed up the light. The old face smiled sinisterly. Data hacking. Li Xiu's bug, the backlash virus implanted, the insider exposed your team. Bai Ning cries and hugs the phantom tightly. Mo Fan, Luo Li is a traitor. The energy monitoring is upgraded, I will protect you. Li Xiu roared and smashed the stage. Queen bitch, my data locked her. Monster, defeated in the finals. The audience was excited and suppressed and turned crazy. Luo Li's betrayal hook. Defeat the battle information is leaked, and the dark horse is in a desperate situation to counterattack again. The Shadow Blade platform crashed, the coating hummed and the pulsating heat accumulated to the limit, the armor cracked and the engine whirred. Mo Fan's eyes were blurred with blood and sweat. The betrayal of the game, the conspiracy was fully exposed, the final reversal started from the Jedi. The crisis has turned slightly, and the storm is gaining momentum. The suspended platform plummeted down with a boom, smoke and dust rose into the sky, and the Shadow Blade dragged its remaining body into the black market ruins with a trail of blue flames. The meteorite fell into the ruins of the black market. Li Xiu lifted up the giant hatch with his thick arms and smashed it open. The heat wave burned his face red with sweat and blood, and the smell of rust was pungent in his nose. Boss, get off the plane. The skeleton of the Shadow King has been welded, 150,000 stars. Coin parts are worry-free, the coated nanochains are endlessly self-generating, thermal failure is permanent, optical evaporation upgrades leave no trace, and the ripples on the radar magnetic screen are infinitely superimposed. Mo Fan staggered out of the cabin, his blood-stained chest wrapped in iron cloth, the black edges of his vision expanded, he groaned and bit his lip, and the black market mechanic's projection of passers-by widened. His eyes trembled and he looked back, replacement of the fallen dark horse. The legendary skeleton of the Shadow Emperor, the nemesis of the ancient wreckage. Impossible, suspending the divine machine for 3 hours. Luo Li jumped to the near frequency, fluttered his wings, closed his cold eyes and firmly handed over the Ice Phoenix module blue crystal pulse. Atonement, the second level of the Ice Phoenix anti-magnetic is upgraded to the third level. Pulse Frost Fire mixed frequency vibration locks the dark thunder at 850 Hz. Bai Ning's holographic projection surrounds his body with lavender fragrance, and the golden light of the AI crystal core is injected into his delicate hands. The prediction is 95% and it is 99%. The neural connection simulates Jiang Chen's dark thunder blueprint. I love you invincibly, hold on. The Shadow King's huge body slowly awakens. The heavy boom, rumble of the engine shakes the ruins and cracks in the rock formations. The black nanoscales of the armor pulsate like dragon scales. The double-edged nano-tornado of the particle knife whispers, buzz. The thruster's fourth-order blue flame vortex gathers momentum. The cooling grid heats up to 500% overload. The grid evaporates into white mist. Mo Fan's boxing neural interface popped and arced through his body in pain, his vision data flashed like a thunderstorm, his heart beat synchronously dong-dong, and fought for his life. The integration of man and machine was as smooth as the pouring of mercury. He roared to suppress the pain, adapt to, level 1. Li Xiu's rough face twisted with sweat and blood and roared, monster, level 2. Simulate a hidden thunder, Jiang Chen fusion leader Guzan, anti-stealth detector heat map plus frequency vibration lock 720 Hz, ancient scanning pulse black hole. The holographic simulation field exploded, the dark thunder beast's red and black intertwined engine tsunami crashed into the virtual rock, the detector's red web spider silk exploded and swept away the shadow, and the particle cannon black hole swallowed the light and locked the frequency heat wave and burned the sky, chi. Mo Fan's Shadow Emperor's ghostly side flash opens in an infinite invisibility cycle. The ripples are self-generated and superimposed with 10 layers of optical evaporation 0 marks. The AI predicts that the golden arc flash drops to lock the weak points. The Ice Phoenix Frost Fire, Chula, resists pulse advancement and has an explosion speed of 150% to tear through the void and circle behind. The integration of man and machine is at its peak with ferocious blood. Laughing, level 3 adaptation completed. Dark mind detection is blind, resonance stabs the core. The double-edged tornado of particles exploded in a chain of buzzing, and the frost and fire splashed directly into the back of the dark mind's neck. Li Xiu's eyes widened, his thick arms trembling, and he knelt down and roared, "Evil God!" The Shadow Emperor's infinite cycle defeats the ancient cripples, rematch corpses and them. Bai Ning hugged the projected lavender fragrance and screamed, "Mo Fan, I love you, perfect prediction, 100% adaptability." Luo Li's cold face, flushed eyes, trembling with admiration, awe of the second magic skill, the atonement of the Ice Phoenix is perfect. The political storm raged and the alliance broadcast was buzzing all over the interstellar. Black market boss 3 million transfers plus nuclear explosion blueprint evidence locked up, leader Jiang Chen has an arrest warrant. But the rematch is urgently restarted, simulated nuclear explosion island unlimited reinforcements, champion power reform alliance. The audience projected a tsunami and jumped, the investigation is exciting. There are rumors about the replacement of the Dark Horse movie King, suspending the reversal of the King of Heroes. But the undercurrent of the black market is surging, and the shadow of ruins is the ghost's data light flashed slightly, and passers-by whispered and trembled, rematch manipulation. The ghost of the Elder Remnant Party, the Dark Horse team is in crisis. The energy door cracked open like an animal's mouth, the recovery guardrail of the competition island was recast and the red slurry solidified, and the death silence of the 500,000 projections turned to fanaticism, the ultimate rematch. Dark Horse Shadow King Mo Fan, fusion of Jiang Chen's Dark Thunder plus leader Ghost Ancient Fusion. Anti-stealth detection is fully activated, invisible final judgment. The giant body of the Dark Thunder knocked on the ground, rumbling, the island shook and the lava spattered, Gudu, the red and black armor pulsated and the ancient Mang engine tsunami crushed the rock debris. The detector's red net with 100 meters of spider silk twisted the magnetic field to attract iron filings, ding ding, and swirled. The particle cannon black hole's light-eating heat map was upgraded and the frequency was locked to the whole audience, the projection of Jiang Chen's scar face showed a sinister smile and magnified the bloodshot explosion, the replacement of the Shadow King. The ancient residual frequency is omniscient, the anti-stealth detection is 95% ineffective, your coding is fused, and the boss is fused. My nuclear shield is at level 8, and I am the champion of the corpse pile. The leader, Skinny Birds, buzzed with particle locks, the inner ghost virus is implanted in Li Xiu's data, the team collapsed. The audience barraged with poisonous rain, the Dark Thunder ancient fusion is invincible, the Dark Horse Shadow King's new machine severely damaged the old disease, the anti-invisible hook coding is blind, it's over. The passers-by stared back and shouted in sweat, the hero pauses the magic machine, the rematch nemesis descends, the dream is broken. Shadow Emperor Blue Flame bursts forth, boom, human-machine unity Mercury-like flow smoothly tears through the mist, advancing to 4th stage 200%, Mo Fan in the cabin sweats blood synchronously with heartbeat, thump thump, low roar gambles like a knife, detect red net. Infinite cycle self-adapt plus 20%, AI prediction break lock. Coding ripples surge wildly, nano chain angry dragon awakens infinite stack 20 layers, optical evaporation vanishes without trace, radar drifts evasively, magnetic shield zero trace, cooling net heat transfers and steams white mist holding steady infinite. But dark thunder detection first scan, buzz rumble, red net explodes open heat map locks shadow emperor's phantom, frequency vibration pulse, boom, spider silk burns through the air scraping past armor, crack, new crack spark splashes in cabin, pop pop, fire whip lashes body, chest pain tears apart muffled groan bites lip blood sprays control stick, slow. Internal ghost virus. Data delay 0.5 seconds. Li Xiu Guang's light group flashes roughly, face turns pale with terror roars, boss, hacked and backfired. Internal ghost. Luo Li's code has anomaly. Luo Li's projection coldly beautiful eyes shrink and tremble, not me. Bounty remnant virus burning brain. Audience draws in cold breath dead silence, shadow emperor's coding failure omen. Internal ghost hooks team crack, dark thunder counters and extinguishes the cool dream. Jiang Chen's scarred face grins twistedly and wildly shoots particle black hole, rumble rumble, swallowing skies heat wave roasting red platform lava boils, leader locks frequency auxiliary red net compresses, insect heavy machine clumsy, detection 95% locked dead. Shadow Emperor's armor cracks expand engine heat accumulates, huff huff, panting, propulsion weld point smoke forcing to limit, MO fan punches stick, bang, blood spots fierce eyes abyss black suppressing all despair, team iron. Infinite cycle third stage full open, break. AI golden arc flashes wildly, beep beep beep, prediction 99% bursts, neural link peaks pulse like a waking dragon, coding self-adapt stacks 50 layers ripples silently ghostly circles behind 1000 meters, ice phoenix frost fire, crack crack pop, resists pulse propulsion bursts tearing air without shadow. Dark thunder detection red net suddenly blinds, sizzle sizzle, short circuits heat map blank, Jiang Chen in cabin eyes bulge out roughly roars in fear trembling hand shake stick, click click, impossible. Infinite cycle self-generated. Ancient remnant frequency invalid, coding divine hidden counters detection. Leader's withered face turns pale sinisterly twists distorted low roars with blood veins bursting, internal ghost virus ineffective, Li Xiu counterhacks and backfires my system 80%. Audience projections stare wide-eyed lean back wildly roaring tsunami distorted faces with worship tears and sweat, Shadow Emperor infinite invisible breaks detection. AI prediction ghostly divine, dark horse reverses God, dark thunder blinds corpse pile. Passers-by cover mouths trembling meal projection whispering worship, pause generation peak, human-machine unity Mercury, hero king reforms alliance. Luo Li's wings turn auxiliary blue pulse side strikes boom, red net ice cracks, Bai Ning screams with joyful tears lavender fragrance illusion rushes, MO fan, love you invincible. Energy tower full 100%, heat transfer infinite. Li Xiu kneels and roars wildly joyful light group flashes, monster, counterhack 100%. Internal ghost locked, alliance elder remnant faction implanted Luo Li's old code, not her. Particle double blades nano tornado, buzz 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 buzz, chain explodes to extreme, ice phoenix frost fire mixes splashes, crack crack pop pop, directly stabs dark thunders back neck core, boom, boom, 850 Hz resonance locks Luo Li's auxiliary plus AI prediction, ancient remnant nuclear shield layers ice cracks red black slurry sprays, sizzle sizzle sizzle, like blood spring. Energy leaks 99% red black light collapses twisted lights, beep beep beep, pierces brain. Jiang Chen in cabin sweat and blood blur fierce laugh shatters turns to despair regret roars swallowing blood, coding infinite. Intelligence all wrong, black market bounty regret. Elder internal ghost harms me, corpse. No. Leader's ghost remnant body staggers, rumble, platform smoke dust rushes sky particle cannon black hole returns to zero, withered face fear bulges eyes trembling low roars, ancient remnant hack fails, divine hidden counterstar. Alliance investigates my whole family. Heat wave backfires roasts red giant body fragments, ding ding, bounce into lava core with rusty iron smell choking lungs throughout the field. 500,000 audience tsunami wildly excited jumps up projections distorted roar kowtows worship, dark horse shadow emperor particle double stabs core. Dark thunder ancient fusion collapses, Jiang Chen leader despair regret, justice explosively cool champion. Host thunders, rematch dark horse wins. Alliance reform rises, black market rolls away. But Li Xiu's light group suddenly flashes red alert, beep beep, explodes open, internal ghost data locks projection whole field, elder remnant faction hides in Bai Ning's support line. Not Luo Li. New virus implanted energy protection, team internal ghost exposed. Mo fans shadow emperor blue flame low roars accumulates power, chest blood seeps close eyes burn black, internal ghost crisis, new gamble champion hand. Bai Ning's projection teary eyes collapse lavender fragrance turns bloody, Mo fan. Not me, love you. Crisis undercurrent even more wild, final battle after waves surge. The remaining smoke from the suspended platform filled the air with the stench of rust core and slowly dissipated. The lava guardrail groaned and solidified into black scabs. The faces of the 500,000 projection audience gradually changed from fanaticism and distortion to sluggish worship. Some people knelt on the projection and covered their chests with tears and sweat. The dark thunder ancient fuses with the corpse pile, and the king of justice reformed the alliance. The cracks in the red bulkhead slowly closed in the aftertaste of the heat wave. The Shadow King's huge body hummed with blue flames. The heavy pulse of the engine was like a giant beast breathing. The cooling network was surrounded by white mist. The armor's nanoscales made a thin, pop sound as they healed. The green light of the energy tower flashed steadily and maintained 100%. Mo fan's blood and sweat dried up in the cabin. He tightly wrapped the iron cloth around his chest wound and wiped his lips. He glanced at the holographic red alert, Didi, with ferocious eyes, and lowered his voice like iron, the inner ghost. Bai Ning's backup line. The team trusts us, lock it first. Li Xiu's thick face was bloodshot and a bulging light flashed wildly on the ruined platform. The torrent of data rumbled like an engine tsunami. His thick arms smashed the keyboard with a clang, and sparks splashed into the sky. Sweat beads smelled of rust. He knelt down and roared. The projection zoomed in, boss. The evil eye, anti-hacking is 100% traceable, the remnants of the elders pretend to be Bai Ning, the virus simulates the lavender AI code, the black market leader Gu Zhan finally bites back. False letter, it's not her. Bai Ning's holographic projection of lavender fragrance filled her nose with tears, her eyes collapsed, her hands trembled and her crystal core flashed with golden light, Mo fan. I love you, believe me. The data is fully turned on, and the AI prejudgment traceability certificate, the black market ghost is dead. In a last-ditch effort, the fake insider blamed the team for breaking up. Luo Lipin fluttered his wings and whispered, closing his cold face with red eyes and firmly sending a blue crystal pulse, atonement continues, the virus burned my old code and regretted it, it's not Bai Ning, it's ironclad proof Li Xiu. The passers-by's black market mechanics projection stared wide-eyed, leaned back, trembled, covered his mouth and whispered in worship, a mole pretending to be a nemesis. The iron triangle of the Shadow King's team is flawless, and the dreams of the black market remnants are shattered. The audience's barrage turned into a dead silence and a golden rain poured down, no mole. The King of Heroes has reversed its purity, and the Reform Alliance has begun. Li Xiu laughed loudly and roared, and the light circle turned green, all clear. The ancient remnant virus flies away, backlash. Elder Sua's 3 million transfer plus nuclear explosion blueprint was fully exposed, and leader Jiang Chen was arrested by the iron chain. Mo fan's boxing nerve interface popped and arcs of pain pierced his body. His bloody smile suppressed the doubts and his eyes were black and blazing, the team is invincible. The aftermath is harvested, and the championship is in hand. The fourth order blue flame of the Shadow Emperor's thruster swirled slightly, and the mercury pulse of the man machine was trembling like a dragon sleeping. The platform plummeted with a boom and smoke rose into the sky. The Alliance Elders' projections turned from ashen faces to submissiveness and loudly amplified the sound of the island. The Dark Horse wins the semifinals. The Black Market's full live broadcast collapsed. The Elders' Remnant Party's list of 300 insiders plus the Black Market manipulation preliminaries blueprint are all locked. The leader of Jiang Chen's dark mine, Ghost Guzan, was arrested and escorted by a starship. The championship was postponed for 3 days and the reform started. Mo Fan, the Shadow Emperor, was temporarily crowned the Hero King. The bounty of 5 million star coins plus the key to the ancient Mecha ruins was directly entered. The audience jumped up in a tsunami of enthusiasm and the projection distorted and roared. Gift, King of Heroes. 5 million plus ruins key, Shanin Reform Alliance, Black Market, get out of here. White mist filled the air with the residual heat of the heat wave. The smell of rust faded and the phantom fragrance of lavender wrapped around the body soothingly. Mo Fan staggered into the cabin with blood stains on his chest and wrapped in new iron. Li Xiu lifted up the giant hatch door, Kong, with his thick arms and smashed it open with a red and sweaty face. He knelt down in ecstasy and said, "Boss, evildoer. 150,000 star coins have been fully replenished. The Shadow King's self-healing nanochain plus 500%, the relic key is welded into the core and scanned to the second level to open it." The white condensation projection held his delicate hands and injected the new AI crystal core into the golden light, which pulsated, buzzing, and the lavender scent filled his nose with tears and screamed with joy, "Mo Fan, I love you invincibly." The energy tower has been upgraded to infinite escort, and the prediction is 99% permanent, and the inner ghost is ashes. Team Yongtai. Luo Li jumped up and worshipped the ice phoenix with trembling eyes. He handed over the blue crystal frost fire fusion pulse and whispered, "The atonement is complete, the magical skill is in awe." The 4th level of frequency vibration locks the entire black market, and the allies are forever. The mechanic's eyes widened and he gasped, leaning back in sweat. He knelt down and worshipped the projection, shouting, "The temporary Hero King." 5 million star coins smashed into the ruins of the black market, the ancient key to the ruins scanned to the second level, and the down-and-out Dark Horse became famous among the stars. The energy gate of the suspended platform, Z, was turned on at full speed, with dazzling golden light. The Alliance fleet's rumble engine pressed heavily against the island with red light sweeping across Jiang Chen's remains. The leader's ghost's withered face was frightened and his eyes were trembling. He was dragged by the iron chain, crack, the hidden nemesis. The black market is completely destroyed. But the aftermath has not subsided. Jiang Chen's dark thunder body is solidified with red and black slurry, his legs are solidified, particles are twisting and cracking, his scarred face is cracking, his smile is shattering, and he is despairing and roaring, the projection is twisted and bloodshot, temporary crown. The remnants of the black market are surrounding and suppressing. Although the inner ghost is fake, the bounty will hunt you for your remains. Key. Suddenly, the 5 machines of the black market remnants exploded with red light. Boom! Lava spattered, gurgling, the platform shook, the detection pulse red net buzzed, the spider silk burned the sky and locked the shadow of the Shadow Emperor, and the particle cannon black hole swallowed the heat wave and roasted the red rock layer, and the stench of rust core surged again. The audience gasped in silence and suppressed, the remnant party is encircling and suppressing. The aftermath of the crisis of the King of Heroes, the dream of the black market's undead reversal is shattered. The passers-by stared back with wide eyes, trembling and roared, the 5-machine fusion hidden mind severely injured the leg, the detection pulse destroyed the coating, and the corpse pile was temporarily crowned. Mo Fan growled, gritted his teeth, and jumped back to the Shadow Emperor cabin. The neural interface popped and arced through his body, causing pain to the bone marrow. His visual field data flashed wildly and his heartbeat, dong-dong, synchronized. The man-machine merged into one, and mercury poured out seamlessly. He smiled ferociously, encirclement and suppression. Infinite loop fully open, adaptive plus 30% braking pulse. The Shadow King's blue flames burst into the fourth level and the 200% thick engine, rumbling, shook the island and cracked, and the coated nanochain angry dragon awakened ripples infinitely superimposed with 60 layers of optical evaporation, zero traces, radar erratic magnetic screen, silent ghost. The first scan of the red net of the remnant party buzzed, the heat map locked ghost shadow past the armor, click, the spark splash cabin, pop, but the self-generated heat of the coating failed and the permanent white mist evaporated steadily, MO fan punched the pole, bang, blood spots and dark eyes, optical pairing resistance. AI prediction lock. The golden arc, DD, bursts at 99%, the ice phoenix shield frost fire, Chala, pulse antimagnetic third level to fourth level blue crystal vortex block particle cannon black hole, boom, the heat wave backfires the red network short circuit, ZZ. Li Xiu controlled the light group, his thick face distorted, and he screamed with sweat and blood. The projection smashed the energy blasting crystal, clang, boss, monster. The remote control energy tower blasted the core of the remaining party, and the virus backfired and locked the data of the 5 machines by 80%. Bai Ning called tears of tears, the lavender fragrance is injected into the fingers, love you, the escort is full and the heat is infinite. Luo Li frequency flaps his wings, buzzing, side attacking, blue pulse, booming, red network, ice cracking, frost and fire mixed splashing, locking the weak point of 850 Hz resonance. The audience's projections opened their eyes wide and roared with tsunami worship and burst into tears. The Shadow King is invisible and can dodge the god. The coded optical pulse is blocked, the ice phoenix shield blocks the gunfire without damage, Li Xiu explodes the corpses of the remaining party members. Passers-by knelt down and trembled, covering their chests in worship and whispered, man and machine merge into Mercury, the King of Heroes crushes the aftermath, and the black market encirclement and suppression dream is shattered. The Shadow King ghosted back 1,000 meters and slashed with a buzz chain of double-edged nano-tornadoes of shadowless particles. The frost fire pushed through the air at an explosive speed and pierced the hidden leg of the thunder. Boom, boom dash. Jiang Chen's cabin was blurred with sweat and blood, his eyes were bulging out with fear, his hands were shaking, clucking, and he was shouting blood in despair, heavily injured in the leg. The coating is infinitely resistant to the optics and I'm completely blind. I regret that the whole black market has been exposed. Li Xiu, the rear core of the remaining party's 5 machines, exploded with a rumbling, red light and collapsed. The fragments ding-ding bombed the lava, and the giant screen of the Alliance live broadcast exploded to reveal the full picture of the black market, elder transfer records plus manipulation preliminaries videos plus nuclear explosion blueprints. The whole star collapsed and shook, the black market is destroyed. The King of Heroes reveals justice, and the Alliance will be reformed forever. The platform calmed down again, the heat wave dispersed, and the lavender fragrance wrapped around the body soothingly. The Shadow King engine hummed, buzzing, and the self-healing armor newly cracked and closed. The nanoscales pulsated. Mo Fan jumped out of the cabin and smiled, wiping sweat and chest injuries. His eyes were confident and burning, the aftermath is crushed, and the harvest begins. The Alliance fleet escorted Jiang Chen's leader, Tikka, iron chain dragging away, the withered-faced leader roared in fear, relic key, you dominate. The 5 million star coin golden light projection pouring platform buzzed like rain, the 150,000 parts warehouse was fully open for upgrades, and the ancient relic key was welded into the core of the Shadow Emperor to scan the second level, DD, to unlock the ancient light pulse. An audience of 500,000 worshipped tsunami, I am temporarily crowned the King of Heroes. I am famous among the stars and at the pinnacle of my status. Treasures and ruins are coming straight in, and the black market is in ruins. A passerby, a mechanic, gasped and knelt down to face the sweat and blood on his face, worshipping and trembling. The down and out genius counterattacked, 5 million smashed the ruins of my black market, the magic machine Shadow King reformed the Alliance. Bai Ning's projection hugged the lavender scent and choked her nose with tears of joy, Mo Fan, I love you. Team Yongtai, predicting that the upgraded champion will be invincible. Li Xiu carried the new part, Kong, on his thick arms and piled a mountain with ecstasy, shouting, Boss of monsters, the second level of Shadow King is scanned, the third level of ancient mecha coding is infinitely self-generated, and the parts are worry-free. Dominate. Luo Li's cold face flushed and her eyes flashed with determination. Allies are honored, the atonement is complete, Ice Phoenix Fusion Shadow Emperor, the champions together. Mo Fan punched the air with a bloody smile, and the golden light of the Star Broadcasting Hero King's projection was dazzling, and the entire audience was filled with a sense of accomplishment. Luo Li fluttered his wings and hummed, his cool face turned white and his eyes flashed with guilt and turned to fear. He shook the stick and clucked, Mo Fan. I regret that the ghost in the black market has not been cleared up. There is all evidence of rebellion, but the frequency vibration code is locked again in the rematch. Looping invisibility, Luo Li's Ice Phoenix anti-magnetic fusion, Bai Ning's AI prejudgment injection, rematch nemesis. Bai Ning's lavender phantom burst into tears and pointed her fingers wildly, Mo Fan, I love you. Energy escort transfer, Shadow King nerve connection adapts for 3 hours, simulated dark thunder is fully activated. Mo Fan roared with blood, Team Iron, pause and reverse. Shadow King, the new peak of man-machine integration. The afterglow of the floating competition island platform gradually faded, and the magical fragrance of lavender lingered around the body like silk. The projected rain of 5.15 million star coins, buzzed and piled up into gold mountains with a crisp, ding, sound. Li Xiu's thick arms were wildly waving, and his face was twisted with sweat and blood. He knelt down and roared loudly, Boss Monster. The parts warehouse is fully open, the Shadow Emperor's second-level scanning Gumong Pulse is unlocked, the ancient mecha coding's third-level infinite self-generated thermal failure is permanent, adaptive plus 50% optical evaporation zero trace, radar magnetic screen ripples hundreds of layers of ghosts are invincible. Bai Ning held Mo Fan's arm tightly, her eyes filled with tears and the scent of lavender choked her nose. She collapsed and screamed, I love you. The energy tower can be upgraded infinitely, the AI predicts 99.9% of the divine lock, and the team's iron four corners are permanent. The black market is in ashes. Luo Li's cold face flushed and her eyes flashed, and she firmly handed over the Ice Phoenix Level 5 module Blue Crystal Frost Fire. Crack, the pulse exploded, glory to allies, awe of magical skills. The fifth level of frequency vibration locks the whole frequency, and the hook is anti-hidden and the lock is broken. The 500,000 strong projected tsunami in the audience twisted and jumped in worship. Some people covered their chests and knelt down with sweat and tears. Chi-Chi. Bai Wu roared, temporarily crowned the king of heroes. 5 million smashed into the ruins of the black market, the ancient key to the ruins was scanned to the second level, and the down-and-out dark horse became famous in the interstellar reform. The passers-by's technicians widened their eyes and gasped, leaning back and trembling to greet the rust core. The smell of gold coins turned pungent, Shadow King's self-healing nano plus 50%, the parts are worry-free to dominate. But Jiang Chen's final form? The Dark Thunder's 9th level nuclear fusion, the ancient omniscience, the anti-invisible permanent detection, the black market's immortal dream-shattering hero. The silence in the audience turned to a whisper of fear, and the Alliance broadcast echoed harshly, 3 days countdown, the championship battle resumes. Temporarily crowned Mo Fan Shadow King vs Jiang Chen's Dark Thunder Ultimate, the interstellar live broadcast is on. 3 days passed like an engine humming and gathering momentum. Mo Fan Shadow Emperor sank into the upgrade warehouse with a rumble. The thick metal door clicked and clicked. The self-healing nanochains made a thin sound and the armor scales pulsated like dragon scales waking up. In the cabin, Mo Fan's blood and sweat dried up, his chest was injured, and the iron cloth ached slightly. The neural interface popped, and the electric arc rushed through the body and hurt the bone marrow. The torrent of data in the field of vision flashed wildly. The heartbeat, dong-dong, synchronized with the human-machine integration and the mercury poured out seamlessly. He was ferocious. He roared fiercely and gritted his teeth. Final form. Infinite loop fully open, adaptive hook breaking. Li Xiu's thick face distorted the light group on the ruins of the ruins. The tsunami, rumbling, data was like a nuclear explosion, and his thick arms smashed the keyboard with sonorous sparks. Beads of sweat splashed in the sky, the smell of rust choked his nose, and he roared, "Boss monster." The second-level scanning ancient light pulse is unlocked, the fusion of the ancient mecha particle cannon, the fourth-level optical evaporation of the invisible coating plus the thermal phantom clone, and the hook is 99% blind. Bai Ning projected the lavender scent and rushed to the nose and fingers. Luo Li fluttered his wings, buzzing, and flew sideways to test the frost and fire fusion test. Shattered. But the interstellar public opinion boiled like lava, and the flood of taunts poured out, and the projected barrage was distorted in red and black. Jiang Chen is the dark horse of the 9th level, the black market taboo nuclear fusion ancient remnant omniscient hook defeats the invisible, the grain the hero's dream of the sub-hook locked and evaporated into a pile of corpses. The passerby's black market remnants projection roared, the downcast genius achieved the 4th level in 3 days, the hook permanently detects the heat map and locks the soul, the champion Jiang Chen returns. The Alliance Elder's withered face and livid face shook the island. Fair reopening, temporary crown Mo Fan's bounty is frozen, Jiang Chen's acquittal and black market testimony are exchanged for freedom, the final form is legal upgrade, interstellar judgment. But the Alliance broadcast, buzzed, and the ear-piercing countdown exploded, the championship match will resume in 3 days. The black market taboo of Jiang Chen's final form, the 9th level nuclear fusion of the Dark Thunder is omniscient, the hook is anti-stealth and permanent detection, the reverse nemesis is coming. Jiang Chen's roaring projection in the starship twisted the scarred face and laughed bloodshot, temporary crown. The final form will kill your whole family, I will snatch the key to the ruins. The undercurrent of crisis is rising again, Mo Fan's Shadow Emperor Blue Flame is gathering momentum in a new game with dark eyes, can it be reversed? Champion War Day, the competition island's energy gate, sizzles, fully open with blinding golden light, 50 billion interstellar live broadcasts project twisted tsunamis, lava barriers, gurgle gurgle, low hum boiling protecting the island with red light pulses sweeping and locking the entire field. Shadow Emperor's blue flame low hums as the thruster 4th stage charges, heavy engine, buzz buzz, pulses, nanoscales self-heal, pop pop, Mo Fan in the cabin fiercely eyes scan the holographic red alert, beep beep, piercing, human-machine unity with mercury remnant pulses lightly trembling like a dragon slumber leaping into the war net. Opposite, Dark Thunder 9th stage ultimate red-black slurry solidifies the massive body, boom, engine core melts ancient remnants all-knowing explosive roar shakes the sky, particle hooks eternally fixed detect red net spider silk incinerates the air, buzz rumble, heat map locks the soul, leg heavy damage repairs twisted shell, crack crack, splits with energy tower red light flashing wildly at 200% overload. Jiang Chen in the cabin with scarred face grins maliciously, blood veins burst swallowing blood roars projection twisted, temporary champion dark horse. Hooks counter stealth overcome coding, core melt ancient remnants all-knowing predict your corpse entire family, relic key eye snatch black market revival. War alarm, rumble rumble, engine tsunami presses the field, 50 billion audience suck in cold air dead silent suppression barrage red tide, Dark Thunder 9th stage hooks nemesis. Heat map eternally fixed locks Shadow Emperor zero trace, particle hooks swallow blue flame corpse pile heroes. Passerby mechanics stare wide-eyed leaning back trembling covering mouth rough breathing iron rust nuclear stench choking nose kneel roar, ultimate form heavy unmatched, ancient remnants all-knowing AI breaks prediction, Mo Fan's coding fails dream shattered. Dark Thunder hooks first sweep red net, buzz, heat map locks virtual shadow brushing past Shadow Emperor's armor, click, spark splash cabin, pop pop, coding 4th stage self-generated heat fails ripples 100 layers optical evaporation zero trace but hooks eternally fixed pulse, crackle, tears hot illusion shadow clones. Shadow Emperor thruster explodes rush 4th stage 250% blue flame tears the air, boom, but particle hooks black hole swallows light heat wave roasts red rock layer. Backlash cabin wall, sizzles, melts, MO fan punches rod, bang, blood spots pain through nerves interface electric arc surges body low roars, hooks counter, self-adapt plus 50% ancient light scan locks weak core. Li Xiu Yuan controls light group rough face sweat blood twisted madly smashes keyboard, clang clang, spark splash sky roars projection, boss monster. Reverse hack hooks data 70%, ancient remnants all-knowing weakness exposed, core melt core 8500 Hz resonance shatter. Bai Ning screams lavender fragrance illusion rushes tears collapse slender hands inject, love you escort full load, AI prediction locks hooks 99.9% heat transfer infinite. Luo Li frequency vibrates wings, buzz buzz, side strikes blue pulse, boom, red net frost fire ice cracks locks auxiliary. Dark thunder hooks chain, buzz rumble, spider silk incinerates the air, shadow emperor dodges ghostly circles behind 1000 meters without trace but heat map eternally fixed chases soul particle cannon black hole, boom, boom, swallows blue flame thruster overheat 500% cabin blood sweat steams, hiss hiss, MO fan chest wound recracks muffled hum grits teeth despair presses top, team, game theory turn. Audience projection stare wide-eyed wildly roar fear tsunami tears collapse twisted, hooks counter coding god. Dark thunder core melt suppresses shadow emperor, blue flame swallowed heat wave corpse pile temporary champion. Black market remnants passerby grin maliciously bulging eyes low roar worship Jiang Chen, king returns. Ultimate hooks eternally fixed, fallen dark horse coding blind relic key snatch. Jiang Chen scarred face grins maliciously roars swallowing blood, god hidden joke, hooks lock soul particle double hooks chop core. Dark thunder leg repair twisted armor charges forward particle hooks double blades nano tornado, buzz 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 buzz, chain chops shadow emperor's armor, click click click, cracks nano chain self heals, pop pop, barely hold steady, but energy tower green light drops 80% engine low hum trembles heavy pulse like a giant beast dying breath. Suppression despair at peak, MO fan blood laughs eyes abyss black ignites fire explosive roars, second stage scan full open. Ancient mecha coding fifth stage fusion, infinite self-generated heat illusion shadow thousand clones, optical evaporation plus magnetic ripples thousand layers counter hooks. Shadow emperor core ancient light pulse, beep beep, unlocks explosive roar, ancient mecha particle cannon fuses blue crystal frost fire, crackle, pulse, coding fifth stage nano dragon awakens ripples infinite stack thousand layers zero trace evaporation radar drifts magnetic screen ghostly, heat illusion shadow thousand clones, buzz 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 buzz, like ghost legion circles dark thunder chaotically red net heat map all blind, sizzles, short circuits fail. 50 billion audience dead silent turn golden rain wildly pours stare wide-eyed leaning back trembling covering chest sweat tears steam, hiss hiss, tsunami worship, coding fifth stage god hidden thousand clones. Hooks all blind, ancient light scan counters ancient remnants all knowing, reversal rises. Passerby mechanics rough breathe kneel ground trembling worship low roar throat choked, human machine unity mercury peak. Fallen genius bounces up, shadow emperor heavy engine roars again crush ultimate. Shadow emperor ghostly circles behind without trace particle double blades nano tornado chain chops plus ancient light particle cannon boom, 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 directly stabs dark thunder core melt core, frost fire thruster explodes speed tears air ice phoenix fifth stage pulse, crackle, locks 8500 Hz resonance, dark thunder hooks red net collapses fragments, ding ding, bounce molten rock leg twisted, crack crack, recracks energy leaks 99% red light flashes wildly twisted. Jiang Chen in cabin sweat blood blurred eyeballs bulge out fear trembling hand shakes rod, crack crack, despair roars swallowing blood, coding fifth stage counters hooks, ancient light all-knowing blind, black market taboo shatters I regret corpse. Li Xiu Yuan controls explosive core, rumble rumble, red light collapses, Bai Ning AI prediction golden arc bursts locks weakness, Luo Li frequency vibrates side strikes frost fire splashes. The lava on the platform spewed out and shook and cracked. The giant dark thunder body sprayed red and black slurry. The energy tower exploded with a boom, and the rain of fragments hit the island. The giant screen of the Alliance live broadcast exploded. The final picture of the black market, the forbidden nuclear fusion blueprint plus the Elder's family transfer plus the interstellar manipulation video flooded out. The entire interstellar collapse shocked 5 billion viewers. Tsunami frantically jumped up and the projection distorted and shouted in salute, "King of Heroes, Justice." The black market will be destroyed forever, and the Reform Alliance will rise to dominate the Shadow Emperor. The Elder's projection turned withered face, turned livid, and knelt down respectfully. His voice shook the island, "Champion Mo Fan Shadow Emperor. Bounty of 10 million star coins plus full key to the ruins plus life of Alliance Director, Black Market Family arrested Starship Escort, a new era of competitive reform." Mo Fan jumped from the cabin with blood stains on his chest. He was wrapped in iron cloth and wiped his lips with blood. He smiled confidently and burned. His eyes were dark and exhausted, and the Shadow King engine hummed, buzzing. The self-healing armor fully integrated nanoscales pulsated with blue flames gathering momentum. Man and machine merged into one. The aftertaste of mercury trembled lightly. Bai Ning's projection hugged the lavender fragrance and choked her nose with tears. She screamed with joy, "I love you, the champion is invincible, Team Yongtai, predict the interstellar god." Li Xiu carried a mountain of gold coins in his thick arms and knelt down in ecstasy and yelled, "Evil boss. 10 million to destroy the Parts Empire, the Shadow King's 5th level coded ancient mecha is unlocked and dominate." Luo Li blushed coldly. The dizzy eyes trembled with admiration and vibrated to the 5th level, peak allies, eternal respect for divine skills. Ice Phoenix Melt Champion, let's reform together. The passerby mechanic stared wide-eyed, panting heavily, then leaned back and knelt down in sweat to greet him and shouted, "The down-and-out genius swept the arena. The ancient mecha scans dominate, the invisible coding Shinwei black market is wiped out, and the status of the King of Heroes will always be at its peak." Mo Fan jumped out of the cabin with a bloody smile and wiped his sweat. His eyes were dark and the fire was burning, and he suppressed the sarcasm, "Keep it down and play again. The team is trustworthy, and the champion holds the reform." The audience's dead silence turned to whispers of fear, and some people knelt down and covered their chests, shivering and sweating, "Chi-Chi, black market testimony, in exchange for freedom." Jiang Chen unleashes the ultimate crushing force, and the heroic king's dream is shattered. The aftertaste of the platform's heat wave burned red and the cracks in the bulkhead eased, and the stench of the rusty core filled the nose again, and the heavy pulse of the 3-day hard work engine was like a giant beast awakening, rumbling, and cracking the island. The golden light of 10 million star coins drenches the platform, humming, like rain, and the full key to the ruins is welded into the core to scan the 3rd level, DD ancient light pulse and hum to unlock a deeper torrent of ancient mecha blueprints. The whole place was filled with heat waves, white mist swirled around the rust core, and the scent of lavender was soothing. 5 billion viewers worshipped the tsunami, King of Champions. Reform the Alliance into a new era, and become invincible in the interstellar world. Mo Fan boxed in the air, bang, bloody smile, vision of the interstellar broadcast, dazzling golden light, a sense of accomplishment, and the golden light of the energy gate of the team's iron four-corner support platform opened wide. But deep in the ancient Mang pulse, a low-pitched buzzing sound exploded, and a secret signal exploded. The withered-faced ghost projected at the core of the ancient ruins was not a remnant of the black market, but the ancient god behind the alliance. He whispered, "The key to the championship. The true ruins have awakened, and the interstellar mecha empire has descended. The invisible coding is only a part of the iceberg. A new game begins." Jiang Chen's broken body of the starship was dragged away by the iron chain, Kaka, and he finally smiled ferociously, "Old god, your dream of domination is broken." The undercurrent of crisis surged deeper, and Mo Fan's Shadow Emperor's blue eyes were filled with new flames, interstellar domination, ruin empire war.